True Capitalist Radio. I'm the badass of business and the prognosticator of prognosticators. Give CIA levels of assessments, predicting the future, the future, the future. It's time for True Capitalist Radio. Turn that shit up. It's time for True Capitalist Radio. Turn that shit up. Sparking synapses in the internet underground. Everyone knows who I am. The world is my chessboard and war is the tool of the game. Don't hate me, I'm just a messenger. Say what you want about me, but I speak the truth. The truth, the truth. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. It's time for True Capitalist Radio. Turn that shit up. It's time for True Capitalist Radio. Turn that shit up. Now get ready. True Capitalist Radio starts now. Right now. Fucking punks. Fucking punks. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fucking punks.
What's going on, folks? And thank you very much for tuning in with me. I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and this is another episode of True Capitalist Radio, the first True Capitalist Radio of the year 2025. And boy, has a lot of things been going afoot since we've been gone and since I've seen you last. This is episode number 732, episode 732 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show across the internets and throughout the world and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. Once again, episode 732. It is January 13th, 2025. And boy, before we get into the rabbit hole that we're going to get into today, I think that we're just going to go ahead and get right into the markets, because I think if you're in the markets, you're starting to recognize a lot of helter-skelter activity going on. And I'll tell you right now, I just do not think that there's going to be anything positive in any of the markets, considering all the pending economic policies that Trump may or may not do, the tariffs. You take a look at the fact that we've had double-digit earnings across the board. And we've only done that, believe it or not, in 2011. That was after the 2009 crash, and then once again in 2018. And every time that there's double-digit earnings, in a year of double-digit earnings, there tends to be a massive contraction. So, I mean, I'm telling everybody right now, I am not a buyer in this market. I'm waiting for it to come down. Now, there are possible opportunities here, but there's just too much risk. And as I've stated, cash is king. As a matter of fact, cash is at a 30-year high. I think we said that on the last broadcast. But look, before we get into anything, let me read some of these Rumble rants that came in. Belligerent Brian, are we to spread this? All right, let's not talk about the wildfire, all right? Five-finger prostate punch. I bet you can't go through 60 minutes without a gay reference. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, you freaking homosexual. Anyway, as I was stating, all right, let's go right into the market portion of the broadcast so we can get into the nitty-gritty of it all right? If you take a look at the market, it was actually on the negative side most of the day. And then after lunch, I guess people, you know how it is when people eat, all the blood goes to their damn stomach from their head. They decided it was a buying opportunity, and I don't understand why. But let's go ahead and take a look. Dow Jones Industrial closed out on the plus side, 0.86%. Closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 42,297.12 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We got the S&P. It is up on the plus side very, very modestly, 0.16%, closing out the S&P at 5,836.22 points for the S&P 500. And we've got the NASDAQ. It was trying to come up on the plus side, still ended up on the negative side. It was down today 0.38%, closing down the NASDAQ at 19,088.10 points for the NASDAQ composite. Gold holding steady at around $2,700, the current price for gold right now.
I'd buy that for $1.
Bigfoot section of the broadcast. Yeah, I'll get to that one in a little bit, all right? Will you talk about Bigfoot? No. Bigfoot is nothing but a bunch of losers dressed up in ghillie suits going out into the woods trying to keep this shit alive so they can sell Bigfoot crap, all right? How many idiots have to be killed going out in the damn woods pretending to be Bigfoot in a fucking ghillie suit before they start realizing that this is really serious shit? Anyway, sorry about that sidetrack there, but let's go ahead. Once again, gold, $2,681.80, current price for gold. And we also got, oil. It is up today, and the reason it's up is because we're putting even more sanctions on Russia and its oil. You have the situation in Ukraine where they have shut off the pipeline directing energy resources from Ukraine to from Russia to Ukraine into Europe, which has caused a spike in oil. It is up today 2.83%. Current price for oil is $78.74 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. Inner Circle inside job. Real estate in LA is hot right now. Listen, all right, I know you guys are a bunch of trolls and you're going to troll about this crap, but let's start taking this very serious here. All right, I'm trying to run through the damn markets so that we can get to the nitty gritty, because I don't know if we're going to be able to get to everything that I'm going to present today. All right, but I hope that I can, because there's a lot of information, and I hope people can stay with me, all right? And we got Devious Dave. Brahms just opened up a location in Abilene, Texas. Well, thank you very much for informing us about that. But look, let's talk a little bit about the market. As I was stating, 2024 was a year of double-digit earnings when it came to most of the corporate mega cap and large cap stocks. The only time that we've seen that, as I've stated, was in 2011. That was after the comeback of the 2009 crash, and in 2018. And thereafter came some very precarious times. And I think that's in store for us in 2025. And if you take a look at the retail results from the holidays, look at this. Wasn't very impressed, all right? The Wall Street was not impressed. Lululemon and American Eagle raised its guidance for their holiday quarters, but fell short. All right, they fell short. Abercrombie Fitch also hiked its guidance, but only slightly. So you already got retailers saying that, all right, look, we expected more this Christmas. And, I'll be honest with you. We have never seen this type of stimulus that we have had post-COVID before. And I think that we're finally starting to run out of that stimulus. All that money that was circulating, we're finally, I think, starting to, run out of it or something. But we shall see. That's what I guess you could call me a bear investor in this financial environment. But remember, the bears eat plentiful when everybody's out there looking for a buck. All right? This is the first cycle I've ever been the bear investor. I'm not joking around. Maybe it's because of my age. I have no idea. And five-finger prostate punch, hashtag to the barefoot right. All right. And by the way, another thing that happened today, Biden administration released some kind of updated export rule for AI chips, which, let's be honest, I mean, that's NVIDIA's bread and butter. I mean, it's trading, 60, 70, 80 times its earnings based upon the future projections of it exporting its chips to other countries. And now Biden releases an updated export rule, which me, Duke Orville, and others in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, we have pretty much surmised that this is trying to corner the market of AI chips or monopolize it by none other than Microsoft and Google. So lots of things going on in the market that are moving the markets. That's why I am not a buyer in this market whatsoever. I think that I'm on the sidelines. If you want to kind of, maybe pick a basket of small caps that you want to hold and forget for another couple of years, because that's where you want to put your money, in my opinion. Remember, the traditional way of investing. All right, look, forget the meme stock bullshit, forget Wall Street bets. When all that shit's said and done, investors, institutional investors, people that are, want to keep their wealth, they're going to follow the profit. They're going to follow whatever company that has profit, even if it's a minute profit in recession or hell, even in depression times. And this is what people need to start strategically looking for and strategically researching on what's going to be the future. So with that being said, let me go ahead and transition, no pun intended, into cryptocurrency. Now, folks, the last time I talked to you, I think that cryptocurrency, or at least Bitcoin, was at about 105,000, 107, some shit like that. I cautioned everybody not to entertain these types of prices, and that I said that this is way overinflated. There should be no reason why Bitcoin is at 100K right now. As a matter of fact, the circulating supply, I was just informed by the True Capitalist Radio chat room that it's already hit 19 million circulated Bitcoin. So that means that there's only 809,000 Bitcoin left to mine, which I think causes a problem, if you want my personal opinion. All right, so, and moreover, I highlighted the fact that the reason that you have BlackRock and financial institutions now becoming the majority holders of Bitcoin is because they're trying to run up the Bitcoin price so that they can make some money off the profit. But where the real money is in shorting Bitcoin. And I think I've told you a couple of times on a couple of shows that George Soros made $1 billion in the 90s shorting the British pound. And the British pound, it can't get over-speculated past the United States dollar. This is a digital, whatever you want to call it, a digital token that is now worth over $100,000. The money is in shorting it. The money is in shorting it. That's why BlackRock, that's why everybody's trying to tell normies and people that are grandmas and grandpas to put their fucking Social Security money in it. They're trying to hype this up as much as possible. And then once it comes crashing down, they make buku amount of money shorting this son of a bitch. All right, put the PC shot on. All right, if you didn't get into Bitcoin back in 2017 when I started covering crypto, then you've lost out on the big fucking wealth bomb that you could have had money for nothing. That's literally what crypto was from about 2017 to about 2020. All right, we've had another run up until this point, and I said on not this past Christmas, but Christmas of last year of 2022, that everybody should, or I should say 2023, everybody should entertain an entry point into Bitcoin, because I started seeing the rise in the accumulation by the bigwigs, by BlackRock, and they were running up this shit. They were promoting this shit. People that were saying that this was nothing, that it was trash, all of a sudden investing and hyping it up because they know the scam. They know that they get it. They get it. Now, if you want my opinion, if you want to make a little bit of coin, all right, I mean, the True Capitalist Radio chat room and some of the inner circle have already made coin on this. I told everybody here with the past several months, XRP, which is Ripple, is something that people need to entertain, and that was at 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents. Okay, it's now $2.52. I don't think it gets above $5, but this coin right here, and Cardano, the guy who created Cardano, believe it or not, is the guy in the ear of Trump that's probably constructing crypto policy. And crypto policy has nothing to do with Bitcoin and what Bitcoin used to represent, or at least as defined by Satoshi in his white paper, that it was supposed to be a decentralized alternative to fiat currency. At this point in time, what we're seeing with cryptocurrency is no longer decentralization. It is now centralization, and that's why these two coins right here, Cardano, XRP especially, are the ones that are going to dominate the tokenization of whatever the hell's going to happen with crypto, in my opinion. Forget about Bitcoin. It's already tapped out. If you're going to buy at these levels, you're the sucker that's going to hold the bag. And, you know, it's not like you're holding the bag on something that may come back. I mean, we're headed into a time where there's not much money circulating anymore. You're seeing a lot of things go out of business. You're seeing mass closings, mass layoffs. You're seeing destabilization in the world. You're seeing a restructuring in international relations. You're seeing terrorism and natural disasters. And look, at some point, buying cryptocurrency ain't going to make a bit of difference. So, just saying, all right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket is all I'm saying, all right? And Belligerent Brian, did I make a smart choice buying some cocoa ETFs? Well, not now. I think you're buying at the top now. But then again, I don't know, the Ivory Coast, which makes most of cocoa, or cacao, which is the base for chocolate, they're going through some unrest. And every time they go through some unrest, we see these spikes in cacao, which is the base for chocolate. And five-finger prostate punch, housing price boom in Cali. Dude, shut up, all right? Just shut your mouth. All right, folks, let's go ahead and transition, no pun intended, to what I think everybody came here to want to listen to, and that's the analysis of everything that has transpired from January 1st, New Year's, to now. Now, we all know at this point that there were terrorist attacks that happened on the 1st and the 2nd, one happening in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, in which somebody had taken an electric truck vehicle and decided to floor it on a crowded street full of people, killing mass people, injuring mass amounts of people. And then almost like clockwork, there was another one, I would say the next morning. All right, the next morning that happened involving a Cybertruck, one of Elon Musk's Cybertruck, parked in front of Trump's property in Las Vegas that was somehow detonated. And it's just right off the bat to hit the new year. Now,
I'd buy that for $1.
And thank you. Talk about the great LA cook-off, wholesale resign. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? American enemy, whatever your name is, I'm not even reading that because you're a disgusting piece of trash. Jesus Christ. Anyway, look, put the PC shot on, all right? The guys that conducted this operation of these terrorist attacks in New Orleans and Vegas, they were both United States Army veterans. They were both United States Army veterans. And they weren't just, randos. These weren't just like E1s and shit. These guys were serious fucking military. These guys were serious military. And by the way, it's just a coincidence that not only were these guys serious military rank, and I'm about to get to that in a minute, but they just so happened to train at the same base around the same time at Fort Bragg, which I now believe is being renamed to Fort Liberty. Yeah. Authorities said Thursday that the two men likely overlapped at Fort Bragg and again in Afghanistan. But, quote, no evidence suggests that they knew each other. Okay, great. It's just a coincidence. I mean, how many times do we have to go through this?
I'd buy that for $1.
And hold on, Froppy, how do we not know that Bigfoot wasn't involved? Shut up, Froppy, all right? Anyway, as I was stating, what a coincidence. All right, what a coincidence that both these people that conducted these acts of terror just so happened to train at Fort Bragg and just so happened to may have crossed their paths in Afghanistan, but no evidence that they knew each other. Okay, All right, if you believe that, then I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. Now, let's talk a little bit about the two guys that conducted or supposedly conducted these operations. And I'll tell you why I say supposedly in a minute. All right, now the first guy who conducted this New Orleans attack is a guy by the name of Shamsuddin B. Jabbar. Samsudin B. Jabbar. Now, when you do some research, and I'm surprised, I was one of few people that found this. I mean, this guy wasn't just some runt soldier. I mean, this guy was serious business. Look, here he is right here. Okay? Here he is in uniform. And if you read, this is a Facebook, the official Facebook of the 1st Brigade Combat Team, 82nd Airborne Division. All right, 82nd Airborne Division. I want to be an airborne ranger. I want to live a life a day. These are serious guys. Now, he didn't necessarily jump out of planes or anything. He was a part of the IT division. And moreover, he was also attached to aggregating data, things of that nature. All right? So this guy wasn't just some chump. I mean, this guy was and also a part of the division. If you look into the 82nd Airborne Division, they have and do interact with what we now call ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Now, if you want my opinion, these were the guys, and there were other divisions, but these were one of the guys that organized and interacted with these jihadis that we have under our control, that everybody is known as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. That's where the ISIS connection comes in with this guy, Samsudin B. Jabbar. Okay, once again, this is the official, this post was in November 18, 2013. So this guy was not an idiot. This guy was, kind of big time, high ranking official within the hierarchy of the Army. And here's a video of him when people just couldn't make sense of that particular, I guess, terrorist attack. I mean, it was a terrorist attack. I mean, it didn't make sense that somebody like this Jabbar character would do such a thing. So what did the FBI do? The FBI came out and they released this video as some kind of proof that he was, I don't know, an ISIS jihadi.
Buy that for $1.
And what is this, Froppy? Rumor is he was radicalized by a guy by the name of the bad what? The hell did you say? The bad one. Okay,
Buy
great.
that for $1.
Very funny, you fucking jerk off. And hold on, we got lots of potholes and speed bumps. This guy is drone striking civilians and hospitals at his laptop. And, he's not wrong. Whoever the hell, lots of potholes and speed bumps in New Orleans. That's a horrible name, by the way. This guy is drone striking civilians and hospitals on his laptop. And then we've got Haywood.
Buy that for $1.
All right, everybody just calm down. All right, everybody just calm down. We got Haywood, who said, "Nice to see you. Hope they die from extra breathing holes." And I don't know what the hell is that. I'm not opening up that news article there, Haywood. All right, don't take me off my track here. An American enemy, Akotu, said, "Sorry, I was making fun of stupid politicians in my state. So when our wholesale recalls, resignations, and impeachment starting in California." Well, let me talk about that here for a second, all right? Let me talk about that here for a second. And we got Five Finger Prostate Punch. You implied that his EV was hacked on X. Well, let me get to it for a second, all right? Shut the fuck up. Thank you. Now, here's the video that the FBI put out about this Jabbar character. And here's him putting on some, glasses that had a camera on it. And this is supposedly him here, as you can see, with what looks like a very long jacket. And he's carrying around some kind of what looks like an ice chest. And supposedly there were IEDs in this ice chest. Now, if you want my opinion, it looks like he's being told what to do. All right, you notice that he keeps holding his phone, and he's told like he's just following orders, in my personal opinion. And they're telling him, hey, go over here, go over there, go over here, go over there. And that's how they got them. That's how they got this guy on this camera. All right, this is the Jabbar character. All right, take a look at this shit. He's just standing around. He looks like he's looking on his phone. He's taking orders. And whoever his handler is like, all right, you go over here now. All right, okay, I'm going to go walk over here. So he walks to a different area, and here he is looking on his phone once again. He's looking around, and he starts waving. See this? He starts waving. Okay, which doesn't make any sense if this guy was motivated to just put shit and leave it. All right, I mean, it almost looks like he was trying to have attention on himself. Here's him again, looks like a different coat, if you want my opinion. So, I mean, this, I don't know what you want to believe here, but this is the supposed evidence that they're releasing that it was this Jabbar guy. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't him in the car. I'm just simply stating that it could be possible that this guy unknowingly was in the position to be put to where he was in an electric vehicle that may or may not have been in his control. And, he probably couldn't get out. I want you all to know that these electric vehicles have this capability. They have this capability where, I mean, you are not in control of your car. I mean, they can lock you in your car. They could make you speed up. They could take away your brakes. I mean, Kadyrov, the warlord in Chechnya, had a Cybertruck. And he tried to put it, he tried to put some machine gun on it, and he toted it around on social media. And then once Elon Musk saw that, he disabled his Cybertruck, useless. All right, from where, I guess, Texas, I guess that's the new headquarters, but, I mean, he rendered it useless. Kadyrov can't use it. So this is where we're at this point in time, okay? Now, look, I'm not saying that this is what it is. I'm just telling you my personal opinion and my assessment considering all the evidence that has come out thus far. All right, now let me continue. Now, we've talked about Jabbar. We talked about how he was 82nd Airborne. I showed you the footage of what was supposed to be him planting IEDs that didn't go off, and that's supposed to be evidence of him, wanting to have the motive to do the horrific act that was having an electric truck mow down horrific amounts of people. Okay, so let's talk about the other guy. The guy that hooked it up with a Cybertruck, conveniently enough, all right? Now, for those that don't know, the next morning after this New Orleans attack, there was a guy that was also, we just said he was also a military guy, high ranking, or I shouldn't say a specialized rank. I shouldn't say high ranking, specialized rank, but hardcore military. He was an Army Ranger that decided that he was going to take a Cybertruck and I guess put it in front of Trump Tower and blow himself up so that everybody could support Trump. That's the fucking story that the people are the people in charge are trying to tell us. All right. First and foremost, let's find out who this guy is. All right. Now, this guy, his name is what the hell is this guy's name? I forgot this guy's name. What the hell is he? Matthew Livesberger. That's why it's a hard name to fucking pronounce. Here it is right here. Matthew Livesberger. This is the guy that did the supposed parking a Cybertruck in front of a Trump property in Vegas and deciding to blow himself up. Now, what people don't understand is that this guy is an Army Ranger that has conducted a lot of missions. And what I find ironic is that this guy, supposedly, you're going to try to tell me that this guy not only drove himself around a few times and decided to park and then shoot himself first, because that's what they say, suicide mission, heartbreaking motive of Cybertruck bomber who shot himself outside of Trump Tower days after haunting posts. Supposedly he shot himself, and then the explosive that he had in his car, which, by the way, I think is rather ridiculous. All right? This guy is an Army Ranger. Army Rangers are trained in explosives. They're trained in explosives. And the reason I say it's funny is because all of a sudden, this guy Matthew has ChatGPT records, supposedly, on him figuring out how to attack this place. Here's the video. Here's the Cybertruck. He makes a few rounds. There he is right there. Okay, did y'all see that? There it is right there. Let's go back. See that? There it is right there. And they don't continue it, but what happens is that he ChatGPT'd this Matthew Livisberger on how to use explosives. All right? I mean, look at this. Livisberger, an active duty Army soldier, and by the way, he was on leave, all right, who authorities said died of a suicide in the incident, asked questions about explosives and what would set off certain types of explosives. Now, you expect me to believe that some guy that's a hardcore Army Ranger has to chat GPT on how to explode something? I mean, if you believe that, give me a break. All right? But of course, I don't know if y'all saw the footage. I really, there's so much shit to explain here, but they supposedly found his ID in the blast, like Mohammed Atta at 9/11. You know, everything was burnt to a crisp except his ID and the phone where he had some supposed suicide note. It's ridiculous, all right? It's ridiculous. All right, I mean, look, this is what they found. Put the PC shot on. All right, this is what they found. They found his phone intact. They were able to get into it, and they found 2 suicide notes, and they found another one that was supposedly mailed to this one fucking podcaster. All the notes make no sense. I mean, they're just completely like 3 different reasons on why he's doing this. And I don't really want to read it. It's mostly like, hey, the drone, though the one sent to the podcaster says that it's the drone situation. It's China. We need to, we're not prepared. And then he goes on and suggests some kind of war crime that happened in 2019, and it was covered up by the administration. Ironically enough, the administration of the time was Trump. And just all these notes just don't make any sense. All right, look at time to wake up. We're being led by weak, feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. Military and vets should move on D.C. now. Militias facilitate and augment this activity. Occupy every major law. All this crap. And you mean to tell me that this was the motive of these 2 guys? Now, they said that he supposedly shot himself before the explosion, all right, which I don't know. I don't know if you want to believe that, but here, let me show you the explosion first and foremost, okay? Now, here it is. Now, if you take a look, he's still alive, all right? He's still, let me blow this up so that everybody can see this shit. No pun intended. I'm sorry about that. Here it is right here. All right, put the PC shot on.
Buy that for $1.
Froppy, this is literally you. Whatever the hell that means. Froppy, this is literally me. Take a look at this, all right? Now, there he is. He's in there, and he's moving around. You can see him moving around, and then the explosion happens. You can see him moving. You can see him moving in there, and moreover, this is something else I want everybody to notice. You see this right here, up there? You see that up there, right there? Notice the door, and notice next to the glass door, it looks like something that's augmented. It's weird. All right? But if you take a look at the building, which we'll go ahead and do here in a second, if you take a look at the building in question, there should be a window there. There should be a fucking window there. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. All right? There's the Cybertruck. By the way, this was a symbolic message to Trump. Okay? So this is what I'm getting at. This was a direct message to Trump. But before I explain why it is, I just want you to notice that right here, next to the door, should be another window. All right? There's no window in the footage, and let me go ahead and put that footage back so that y'all can see, there is no footage that shows this window when it comes to the supposed footage of this guy exploding the Cybertruck. Once again, let's put the PC shot on. All right, take a look at this. All right. I mean, so what this suggests to me is that we're being bullshitted. All right, we're being bullshitted. Like, this isn't the motive. You know, these cockamamie ideas that Jabbar was down with ISIS. And look, I believe they're trying to put an ISIS face on this. I do believe they're trying to put an ISIS face on this. But that this guy did it. As a matter of fact, he was pro-Trump. Matthew Livesberger, or whatever his name was, the guy who did this Cybertruck attack, this guy was actually a Trump supporter. I mean, he was a MAGA nut with a Cybertruck. All right, I'm not joking. So it doesn't make any sense right off the bat. Now, I know many of you people are like, oh, well, Ghost, what are you talking about? I mean, this sounds like, this sounds like fucking conspiracy theorist. Are you kidding me? Well, let me remind you of a case that happened back in 2012, 2013, and it was of a journalist by the name of Michael Hastings. Put the PC shot on. Who killed Michael Hastings? Now, for all those that don't know who Michael Hastings was, he was actually a liberal journalist that broke a major story on a general named General McChrystal that was overseeing the Afghanistan theater and NATO, etc. And this piece that kind of ruined McChrystal's career is what broke Michael Hastings as a journalist. And this guy was, trying to become one of these like rabble rousers, these muckruckers that tries to find any kind of corruption, anything like that, even within his own party, because really what he was doing, he was exposing the corruption within the Obama administration, even though this guy was a liberal. Now, the reason I have this New York Magazine article on who killed Mike Hastings is because he was in a car, a Mercedes, that had OnStar, whatever, let's just put it this way, strike that. The ability for one to take control of it remotely. This has been in every car from my understanding, going back to about 2009, that the capability of some third party remotely taking control of your car has been possible since like 2009, 2008. And that is what happened to Mike Hastings, because what happened is, all that we know is that there was footage of his car going 90 miles an hour in a 35 mile per hour zone and then crashing directly into a palm tree. Now, they claim that he was drunk or whatever. He didn't know. The fucking car disintegrated. He was charred up. There was no evidence that suggested that, he must have been drunk, until there was a piece of evidence that was released by somebody who had, I believe, store camera or something in the direction. And what they caught was, before the actual impact of his car, of his Mercedes, it exploded before impact. All right, it exploded before impact. And that's why everybody who knows about Michael Hastings and his case think that he was murdered. Put the PC shot on. Here is the footage in question, in which Michael Hastings, if you take a close look at this area up here when I play it, you're going to see his car explode before it actually impacts the tree in question. Play it. Here it is. See, there it is right there. And then it explodes before it actually impacts. It explodes before it actually impacts the tree. Now, before this incident, all right, Michael Hastings, there it is again in slow motion. It explodes here before it actually impacts the tree. Now, the reason that Michael Hastings was targeted because he thought he was being followed He said that he was onto a story that could blow shit wide open, he said, quote unquote, when it came to the Obama administration, and he had to go undercover. He had to go undercover, and he was, everybody that was close to him said that he was, very agitated and that he was very, very paranoid about, people who were supposedly interviewing his friends, they were interviewing his family, and he became very paranoid. And then the next thing you know, this guy ends up in an accident just like this. And that's why everybody who knows Michael Hastings knows that this story of him, getting drunk and, throwing his car into a tree, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And that's why I'm suggesting, I don't have any evidence, I'm just suggesting through the preponderance of evidence and through what I can gather that is accessible to those of us, that it seems like these two people that committed the New Orleans Act and the act at Trump property in Vegas with the Cybertruck may not have been under their own, they may not have been doing this themselves. They may have been under the impression that they were under a different mission. It was under a different pretext. And by the time they realized that, oh shit, wait a minute, I can't get out of the car, this shit's driving on its own, it conducts whoever the perpetrators that controlled these cars, they did whatever it was, and we'll never know because both guys are dead. Both guys that committed these acts are dead. Now, why did this happen? Well, this picture alone will tell you why it happened. This was a clear message to Trump, and not necessarily to Trump. I want you all to recognize it's not just Trump. It's the consortium of people. I mean, I'm talking corporations, folks that are within the military, folks that are connected to black operations. I mean, it's a consortium of people that are using Trump to play in opposition to the current establishment. Now, this was an obvious message by the establishment. That's why they said that Jabbar, the guy who committed the New Orleans thing, was ISIS. Because what have I told you guys all the time? ISIS and Al-Qaeda are our terrorist assets. They're our terrorist satellites. Now, I'd like to recall you back in 2016 when Trump was running for president, he said that, hey, I can get rid of ISIS and Al-Qaeda like that. Don't worry, we're going to get rid of them. And guess what? He did. How did Trump do that? He did that by canceling their fucking funding. All right? Canceled their contract, and they didn't have United States arming them anymore. They didn't have the United States training them anymore, funding them, giving them rations, giving them ammunition. They didn't have that shit anymore, and that's why they went away until Joe Biden came along. And when Joe Biden came along, all of a sudden we started seeing ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda came up out of nowhere in 2021. We hadn't heard from Al-Qaeda since like 2013, 2014. All of a sudden, they started popping up out of nowhere all over the world. And they started, doing our dirty work. They started doing things over there in Pakistan and Afghanistan. They conducted a few operations in Russia that we've talked about in the past. They're out there fucking shit up in Africa. These are our terrorist satellites. Now the Taliban is our terrorist satellite as well. And you see, how did we do this? We did this because we had institutional people that are in the government of the United States accept this as policy. And there's a lot of funding. There was a lot of time. There was a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of assets used in order to create this terrorist infrastructure that is at our behest. And you see, right now, Trump, he is trying to go against that current institution. He's trying to go against the institution that created Al-Qaeda, ISIS, that is now have the Taliban under our control. I mean, he even took some dibs at Bibsy of Israel. I've told you all, Israel is another one of our terrorist satellites. And you've got Trump going against that and wanting to entertain doing business with Russia, China, which are now our enemies right now, So this is why this picture was a warning. Now, Trump and his people responded. And boy, did they fucking respond, all right? And let me tell you, this is why I said when Trump was elected and I was a little melancholy and you people were taking a victory lap saying, yay, look at, we won, yay. I told you that we were going to see a terrorist attack. I said coordinated terrorist attacks. You can go look back in the archive. All right, take a look at the episodes after the election. The first thing I said is that we were going to see terrorist attacks on the country and that we were going to get attacked on our homeland. Another thing I said is that we're going to see another pandemic that's going to shut us down. And we're close to that. I'll tell you that right now. But let me explain to you how these people responded. The Trump people responded with the Hollywood fires. All right, I'm not joking around. Stay with me. I know some of you are like, oh, come on, Ghost. I'm not joking around. But before I do, let me read some of these Rumble rants here. We got Alexander the Resurrection. This whole attack was staged. I don't believe that. Don't say that. This was definitely attacked. People got killed. People got hurt. Don't say that shit. Kits doesn't flip trench coat. Is this guy actually the new host of the black version of the Unsolved Mysteries? He's talking about Jabbar. Five-finger prostate punch. He was no real estate agent. Also, maybe Jabbar and Bigfoot conspired with the fires. Real funny. Devious Dave, did you feel the earthquakes over the weekend? No, I didn't. Kits doesn't flip. I blame Sticks Hex on Hammer for the New Orleans attack. Yeah, he claims that he's I don't know, never mind. Belligerent Brian, nah, sorry. This guy would actually use neochrome wire and a battery if he had to figure it out. Look, any tard can. It's also amazing that the paper survives the bomb and the plane crashes on 9/11. Well, come on, Maine. And Belligerent Brian, and this is why you drive cars from the 80s. I'm not going to get Glowy talking about grooming gang. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Yeah, I do not drive modern cars, okay? And yeah, here's five-finger prostate punch with Bigfoot again. And Alexander the Resurrection, Hastings getting himself killed makes perfect sense. He probably is a retard who believed in gay ops like Pete. Dude, Hastings, that was 2013 Resurrection. You're showing your fucking minority ignorance. No offense, all right? And Devious Dave, do you believe they killed Patton? Yes, I do. Here's Pookie. They probably recruited under the guise of red teaming. He's talking about these characters that did these terrorist attacks. Tesla Cyberheart, WMAF is just as bad as BMWF. They're both race traders. Okay, thank you. And then we got feminist, socialist. Come on, what the fuck, Ghost? All right, thank you. All right. Now, we talked about how, once again, I told you that these attacks, especially the one in front of Trump's property.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hold on, we got to buy me a coffee here. It says NWO coming soon. Research the Jesuits and how the Vatican rules the world. Well, hey, don't get ahead of us here, all right? You know, that's a whole other layer of control. That's a whole other layer of control that's probably suitable for another broadcast, all right? Now, once again, this was a sign by the folks of the institution of our government, the people that funded ISIS, Al-Qaeda, that constructed this current foreign policy that Trump is going to go against. Okay, this was a sign. Trump responded, in my opinion, with the forest fires. Now, I'm not saying he conducted it. Remember, he's got a lot of folks very close to him that are a part of the military. I mean, Michael T. Flynn was the DIA head of the Defense Department. The DIA is nothing more than the CIA specifically for the Defense Department. He and a bunch of other folks that are along the same lines that are pro-MAGA, they understand how to conduct black operations. And I think that what we saw in Los Angeles was a terrorist attack that was conducted by the apparatus that is behind Trump. Now, for you folks that are saying, wait a minute, it's just a fire. How can you weaponize a fire? Well, take a look at this, all right? This is off of a military website. Forest fire as a military weapon. All right, the final report, June 1970. U.S. Department of Agriculture is one who commissioned this. And if you take a look at the goddamn table of contents for this, take a look at this. Forest fire effects, creeping ground fire, running surface fire, forest crown fire, which this one right here is very interesting. And then it talks about requirements for successful forest burning. Vegetation types, grass, shrub, conifer forest, pine, other than pine. All right, hardwood forests. All right, climate types, probability of incendiary success. Like, what are the conditions necessary to make this successful? All right, fire climate classification. It goes on and on. Okay, so look, I'm just saying that this, all right here, has been thought about before. Okay? Now, stay with me. I know some of you people, you don't want to, just stay with me here for a second, all right? Now, I'm not saying that there was any lasers or anything of that nature. I'm going to get to it in just a second. I'm going to say that all somebody needed to do was create a triangulated fire in this area of the hills of Hollywood and the Palisades and all this other shit, because the conditions, all right, at the time, especially at the municipal and state level, were perfect for this wildfire to continue to this day. And what were those conditions? Well, if you take a look at this reservoir, all right, State Probes Y Pacific Palisades Reservoir was offline and empty when the firestorm exploded. Well, little do you all know that this goddamn Palisades Reservoir has been empty, and I'm about to show you this here in a second, since 2013. So there's already foreknowledge that this damn thing just doesn't, the infrastructure, let's just put it that way, is not conducive to be able to stop a potential deadly fucking fire. All right, so that's first and foremost. And Trolling the Interim says it was the globalists. The Palisades was set 15-minute well, hold on. You know what? You're getting ahead of me, Trolling. God damn it. Everybody shut the fuck up. All right, just shut up and let me fucking present this shit. All right? Anyway, as I was stating, all right, hold on. I can't find they just took down the fucking images of the, of that Palisades Reservoir. But understand that Palisades Reservoir, this one that I'm talking about right here, has been empty since 2013. So it'd be the perfect area to go and start a fire like this. And by the way, we have satellite images that show the triangulated fire in which this started. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. You think that this was by accident? You think that's by accident? Look at that. A triangulated fire. Okay? Triangulated fire all started at the same time. Okay? You see that shit? All right, all at the same time. Okay? And then you take the conditions at the time. They had unprecedented winds that were as high as 80 or 90 miles per hour. And Tesla Cyberheart says the whole city is on fire. I know. The conditions were necessary. You had 90 mile per hour winds. If you have a triangulated fire, you get maximum capacity, because what you do is you create a vortex in this triangulated fire, which, by the way, is you see those fucking tornadoes, those fucking fire tornadoes and shit. So, look, there's plenty of evidence that suggests that this was actually done by people. All right, like people purposely put this fire. And look, let me give you a few examples. Here's somebody hiking, all right, around the Palisades hike area, and starts seeing smoke, and then sees pricks running down from this particular fire.
Dude, that's right where we were standing.
We were literally right there.
Holy shit.
Look. These guys come down, and everybody just starts running. Look at how fast it spread. Here, I'm going to play it again. Look at how fast it spread.
We were standing.
We were literally right
Holy shit. Dude, it's catching up.
See that? Look at that. I mean, it's already full fire, man. So that is one piece of evidence that suggests, oh yeah, this was obviously started by somebody or some people. Here's another one. All right, take a look at this. This guy here, he's being reported to the police, and he knows he's being watched. And look at him. He's setting fires, and you can hear the people on the phone like, what the fuck's going on? Look at this.
Yeah, the fire that he started right now.
This guy's starting fires.
It's in the dam, the south side of the dam. There's a fire going now.
Holy shit.
Can you hear me still? Okay, he's walking now. He's walking west.
On the dam.
On the dam. On the south side of the dam.
Towards Burbank.
Can you hear me? Alright, I'm tracking him. He's walking west. He's moving very slowly. He just lit. The fire is small and concrete area, but he definitely 100% lit it.
All right, this is a 3-minute video. The cops don't show up until this guy's gone, okay? But it goes to show you that there were people in different areas trying to start this fire. All right, we're at least successful in starting this fire. Look,
He's now walking north. He's now walking north to the top of the dam.
Towards Burbank.
Towards Burbank Boulevard.
all right. Now, that's another one that was caught on camera. All right, here is yet another one. All right, that was caught on camera. I mean, these were all caught on camera here. Take a look at this one. All right, let me blow this up. Let me blow this one up here. Hold on, let me blow this one up. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Now, here's a fire getting started, and then you could see somebody moving in the background. Take a look at this.
In West Hills. This is how fast these fires in California
There's a
are
person
escalating.
there. There's a person there.
Arson in West Hills. This is how fast these fires in
There's
California
a person there.
are escalating.
All right, there's a fucking
Arson
person.
in West Hills. This is how fast these fires in California are escalating.
All right, now, what I'm trying to say is, obviously, these were intentional. All right, somebody intentionally started these fires, and they started it in a coordinated fashion. Obviously, I'm showing you different evidence of people who caught folks lighting shit on fire out there, and then you combine that with the 90-mile-per-hour winds. You combine that with the fact that it hasn't rained in like fucking 80 days or 90 days out there. All right, so once again, I mean, I'm just showing you evidence that this was done intentionally, okay? This was done intentionally. I'll show you some more evidence here.
I'd buy that for $1.
But Inner Circle Inside Job, we did it. Dude, shut up, all right? Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, look. Somebody actually witnessed... Here, let me put this one back. Somebody actually witnessed one of these guys making an attempt at lighting a fire in a neighborhood, and luckily the neighbors came out and stopped this fool. I think many people saw this one. Put the PC shot on this guy. All right, they were stopped by the neighborhood, and the cops got him. He had a gas can on him. So I'm telling you, there's so much evidence that suggests that this was intentionally started by multiple different actors.
In wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
All right, so that's that guy, okay? And that was actually covered by a few different organizations. Now, you take a look. I mean, what kind of a person does that look like? Does that look, you do the judge. You be the call, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to make the point that this was intentionally started, okay?
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey, cheers to Duke Orville with the 10 beers. Wild shit going on. Cheers. You're damn right, Duke Orville. A member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room as well. Cheers to you, man. Hope you have a good Monday. And hope you're watching the game tonight, man. Rams and Lions. Interesting game. Or, excuse me, Rams and Vikings. What am I talking about? The Lions got the bye week. But anyway, good game tonight. Vikings and Rams. Cheers to the Duke Orville, man. Thank you very much. And I hope you're having a good and decent Monday. But look, this fire has gotten so bad, okay, that now we got firefighters from Mexico coming in. Look at this shit. Firefighters from Mexico will help fight Eaton Blaze, all right? So now we got to, bring in let's be honest, all right? It's the cartels coming in to protect their product, all right? And by the way, the cartels, another terrorist satellite that we've been in control of back during the goddamn Pablo Escobar days. And if you'd like a little bit of a cinematic explanation of what I'm talking about, watch that Tom Cruise movie called American Made, I believe it's called. And it depicts one Barry Seal and how he was co-opted by the CIA to run guns and drugs for the cartels so that they can fund a counter-revolution in Nicaragua. So anyway, this stuff does happen, all right? But anyway, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but now we got firefighters from Mexico. Now, who was really in charge? I mean, who was really in charge of fire? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who was really in charge of this stuff? Well, what I'm about to explain to you is going to blow your mind here. And this is why I'm saying this was the people that are behind Trump that had a lot to do with the fires, in my opinion, had a lot to do with the fires that are happening in Los Angeles. Now, before I do, I got to read some Rumble rants. We got trolling the interwebs. This is the windiest winter we've ever had in New York City.
I'd buy that for
And I'll get to you there
$1.
in a minute, Base Department. They're going to burn down Queens, New York. That's why they flooded it with immigrants. That's not... no, come on. Come on, trolling the interwebs. Kits does a flip. That's Sam Hyde. And I'm not saying that starting the fire. I'm not saying that. But anyway, let me get the Base Department, who just hooked it up with a buy me a coffee here. And the Base Department said, so 3 questions for you, Ghost. Have you seen the footage? People have caught UFOs or drones flying around in the wildfire area. Some of the footage is live on news broadcast. 2, have you seen news? I'm gonna get to all that shit. And by the way, I already just said that the fucking Palisades Reservoir was empty.
I'd buy that.
It's been empty since 2013, by the way. All right. But cheers to the Base Department. I'm about to answer your question as I continue the broadcast. All right.
I'd buy that for $1.
Well, we got Mad Thad here. Hold on, Mad Thad. What is it? He said, "Sup, homie? You're gonna get me to borrow $5,000 so I can go to the Village People Ball." I'm not gonna let you borrow $5K so you can go to that damn Village People Ball that, Turning Point USA is holding. Also, where's the TCR meetup for the inauguration? Well, I ain't gonna be there. I don't think it's gonna be very safe. All right, I don't think it's gonna be very safe, to say the least. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, for the love of God. Now, who was in charge of the year-round firefighting for Los Angeles and in these areas? Well, if you take a look at Colson Aviation, this is the official website of Colson Aviation.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right. And 15.5 inches of pure imagination says Billy Joel denies ever starting the fire. Okay, thank you, 15.5 inches of pure imagination. Anyway, Tesla Cyberheart, you're hold on just a sec. Oh yeah, his I got you, dude. Anyway, this is very important video pertaining to this subject. I'll get to it in a minute there, Tesla Cyberheart, all right? Calm your ass down. Everybody calm your ass down. All right? Anyway, Colson Aviation secures a $16 million year-round funding firefighting contract to protect Los Angeles, Orange County, and Ventura County. Okay? So, okay, what is that supposed to say? What is that supposed to mean? They're the Chinooks. You see these little Chinooks? They're the ones that everybody's criticizing that are slow as shit and they're not doing anything and that sort of thing. All right? Now, why is that important? Why is Colson Aviation being in charge of the firefighting contract to protect Los Angeles important? Well, what you're about to hear is, very serious shit. And look, they're the ones coming out saying, hey, look, it's dangerous battle conditions. We're doing all we got. We're giving it all we can. All right, we're doing everything we can. We're doing all this crap. That's Colson Aviation. Colson Aviation. Well, what I'm about to show you, and I got to give credit to the individual that created this. I did tweet this earlier, I think 2 days ago, but it bears repeating. Now, this guy who is presenting this, and it's going to be kind of long and daunting, but I think that it's very important. Okay, got to give credit to this guy, 7Cs. All right, there is his profile. Very, very good research in connecting the dots here. And let me go ahead and blow this up so that everybody can see it. Put the PC shot on. Listen to Colson Aviation and the connections, all right?
I had quite a few people send me this post last night, this morning, things like that. That is a theory about the LA wildfires and its attachments to a company called Colson Aviation. Now, in the post by Polly St. George documenting bread and circuses, it goes on to state that Colson Aviation is owned by the father of Foster Colson. Foster Colson co-owns the wellness company Zelenko Labs 1775 Coffee and did a $6 million ad buy with Rumble. And then below that, you can see an image of all of these different influencers. It alleges these are affiliates, paid advertisers, or partners of either the wellness company Z-Stack 1775 Coffee, Unjected, Rebel Lion, Elite, or the Vigilant News Network.
Now, this is very important because Colson Aviation, all right, the family affiliated with Colson Aviation owns all of the MAGA chattering class, owns most of the MAGA influence, all that shit. All right, play it.
I decided to do a little bit of digging myself and wanted to start with Foster Colson specifically. Now, digging into him, you can see that he is the son of Wayne Colson, who owns Colson Aviation. Also working there is Britton Colson. Wayne Colson also works at Colson Forest Products, which was started by his father, Cliff Colson. And that seems to be where a lot of their money came from. Now, Foster Colson also started Colson Entertainment, which is a movie production company. International Health Brands, as the post had alleged. And through International Health Brands, you have things like the Zelenko Protocol or Zelenko Labs. You have 1775 Coffee, and you have the Wellness Company. So looking through a couple of these things, I wanted to look at specifically Foster Colson's relationship with a man named Vladimir Zelenko. Now, Vladimir Zelenko, some of you may remember, was the medical source on the hydroxychloroquine regimen that was recommended as a treatment for the coronavirus. Now, Zelenko obviously has the Zelenko protocol that ended up developing into the Z-Stack supplements that are from Zelenko Labs and have had a few people that have come out in support of that in the past. Now, Vladimir Zelenko has Larissa Portnoy Zelenko, but more importantly, I want to focus on his relationship with Jerome Corsi for just a second.
Jerome Corsi, believe it or not, in my opinion, is the guy who created QAnon. Play it. Well, he, with a consortium of people in a chat room, and we wrote about the guy who actually made the messages, how we called him and shit. That's on Ghost Out Report, but this guy is the organizer, and he's going to describe Jerome Corsi.
Because Jerome Corsi has known ties to Roger Stone, who is close to Donald Trump. You also have him as a previous consultant source credit on InfoWars with Alex Jones. And Jerome Corsi is also, interestingly enough, there's Alex right there, interestingly enough, friends with this guy named Ted Malloch. Now, Ted Malloch has sat on a hybrid of private companies and held government positions, such as the Wharton Chase Econometrics. He has worked for the Global Fiduciary Governance and the Roosevelt Group. He's also tied to the Salomon Brothers and has sat on the Committee on Foreign Relations, the United Nations, and the U.S. State Department. He's also a partner of the World Economic Forum, which we will get into here in just a second. But working for the Salomon Brothers, who were behind the junk bond crisis from the 1990s. Some of you may remember that.
Now look,
they also have some...
Take a break here. I know that this is a lot, but this is how people coalesce around power. All right? This is the network around Trump, whether Trump wanted this or not. That's why I was saying Trump believes that he's in charge, when in actuality, it's everyone that's backing him up that are conspiring against him to do their bidding. That's why he don't look confident this time around, as opposed to 2016. Play it.
Someone who is named Tully Friedman that works there as well. Now, Tully Friedman is also partnered with a company called Matrix Capital. Matrix Capital is interesting because they have co-funded a little venture called Xerox that you all may remember is in a joint venture with Valar Ventures, which belongs to Peter Thiel. Who also sits on the world.
Which also sits on all the... Now, here's where I talked about the PayPal Mafia. For you guys that have been listening to me throughout the 2024 cycle, I said that the PayPal Mafia took control of Trump right after that supposed assassination attempt. And look, in my opinion, I don't think that there was an actual assassination attempt on Trump. I think people did get shot, unfortunately. But I think that, well, let's just put it this way, how easily we memory hold that, right? And it was right after that. Remember, Trump had that assassination attempt, and like a couple of days later, he had to go to the damn Republican convention. And he had not nominated or talked about his vice presidential candidate. Then, after that assassination attempt, all of a sudden, he picks this obscure weirdo, J.D. Vance, who, in my opinion, has intimate relations with Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel met J.D. Vance at a lecture he was doing at Yale University, and they've been close friends ever since. And Peter Thiel has basically funded the life and the narrative that J.D. Vance has. All right? So once I saw Trump go after J.D. Vance as the vice president, which is an unknown, which will do the bidding of the PayPal Mafia, which includes Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and David Sachs. Those are the three characters that help create the money side of this consortium. Play it. Here it is.
World Economic Forum along with Ted Malloch. Peter Thiel obviously is wrapped up in Palantir, which helped supply Cambridge Analytica with user data from things like Facebook and Twitter to help provide data in the 2016 election and during the UK's Brexit movement. Now, Peter Thiel is also invested in Rumble. And various other things, Founders Fund, Mithril Capital, and things like that. But he is co-invested in 1789
Capital.
Now, the reason
1789 Capital is where all the mainstream MAGA grifters come from. And this is where the Russian money that was found to be going to people like Tim Pool and others, this is where it went through.
This is interesting is because it's sort of a joint venture between him and Rebecca Mercer, who was also tied to the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Now, Rebecca Mercer and Peter Thiel have co-funded 1789 Capital, which now also includes Donald Trump Jr., who joined shortly after the election. Tucker Carlson has also been funded by 1789 Capital. Now, moving down over to Matrix Capital again, they have ties to a firm called the Lehman Brothers, who has Warren Hellman, who sits there, and he has started Hellman and Friedman, which Hellman and Friedman helped with Kronos Inc. on securing the contact tracing contracts. Kronos Inc. obviously being funded by Blackstone and CIG. Now, Blackstone is funded by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, things like that, which you all may remember. Also funding the Lehman Brothers, and it has former employees from Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch. They are responsible for the mortgage crisis, for coupling up all of those subprime mortgages and packaging them for sale through a guy named Robert Rubin,
who was the Treasury Secretary,
worked in the Clinton administration at the time, and is credited as a force behind the Clinton-era economic prosperity, including the 1993.
Now, what this guy's trying to get across is that, wait a minute, these are a lot of people that were related to the Democrats that have now coincided themselves in this network that is now behind Donald Trump. Play it.
Deficit Reduction Act and the Balanced Budget Act of 1997. But he was the one that was credited largely for the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008. Now, Robert Rubin was on Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs also had a man named Stephen Friedman, who has served as the Federal Reserve Chair and the Intel Advisory Board at one point. Moving back up through this list here, we'll go back and we will focus
I'd
on...
buy that for $1.
I don't give a shit, Froppy. All right. I'm sure the BJs you give to men are boring, too. That's why you're always here.
Colson, International Health Brands, worked with Zelenko Protocol and Zelenko Labs.
Now, you see, National Health Brands, Zelenko Protocol, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think a good portion of the supplements that are being sold by MAGA Alex Jones come from this particular company.
And sitting on the International Health Brands executive team is also David Lopez. Now, David Lopez is involved with Blackwater, which used to be owned by Eric Prince, who started the company. Eric Prince is the son of Edgar Prince, who owns Prince Foundation, and is the father of Betsy DeVoe. So Eric Prince and Betsy DeVoe are brother and sister. Betsy DeVoe is married to Dick DeVoe, who started the Amway Corps, who pushes Nutrilite, which is a supplement company.
More supplements.
And they also own Alpha Bank. Now, Dick DeVoe also owns something called Blaze Media, which you all may remember from the Lauren Chin controversy, where it was revealed that her and her husband, Liam Donovan, who owns Tenet Media, were funding people like Tim Pool.
Now, this is why these magatard grifters like Benny Johnson, who the fuck actually listens to that fruit bowl Benny Johnson? Who the fuck listens to Tim Pool exactly? All right? The whole reason why they were put there is because Tenet Media and this whole consortium of money that's going around was funneled in here to purchase the necessary advertising and purchase the necessary clout so that these people become popular. These people become the mouthpiece of whatever the fuck MAGA is. Here, play it.
Old Benny Johnson, Lauren Southern, Taylor Hanson, Matt Christensen. Lauren Chen has also worked with Turning Point USA, which is Charlie Kirk's thing. She's worked previously at Russia Today. Now, Blaze Media also owns something called Blaze TV. Which works with Dave Rubin, who used to work on the Young Turks, but has now started his own venture with the Rubin Report and is closely associated with Alex Jones and InfoWars. Now, from working our way back up, we can see that Eric Prince is also working with two companies called Frontier Services Group and Frontier Resource Group, which are both based out of Hong Kong. Now, the thing about Eric Prince is he studied under a man named Dana Rohrabacher. Dana Rohrabacher,
this guy used to be a congressman,
on Science, Space, and Technology, the Committee on Foreign Affairs. He worked with Bill Barr to attempt to impeach Bill Clinton before the Monica Lewinsky scandal actually broke. He is close with Oliver North and worked with Ronald Reagan and his administration to pass the Reagan Doctrine. Now, Dana Rohrabacher is a self-proclaimed really good friend with Vladimir Putin. Wheeling back for just a moment, we're going to take a look at the Stardust Group, which owns 1775 Coffee. Now, this is where things sort of start to get interesting. Because not only do you have the hydroxychloroquine narrative coming from Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Zelenko and things like that, but this 1775 coffee being all wrapped up in this wellness company sponsorship thing, who has sponsored Donald Trump Jr. and Tucker Carlson, which again tie back to that 1789 Capitol. 1775 coffee has had a few sponsors, known paid sponsors, including Steven Crowder, who is featured on their website, as well as Andrew Tate. You had Laura Loomer, you have Russell Brand, and you have Fresh and Fit, which hosts Myron Gaines and Walter.
Yeah, well, Laura Loomer and these Fresh and Fit guys aren't with the program, so they have all been demonetized. So, once again, if you don't fall in line with this consortium of characters, you're going to be ostracized, which happened to Laura Loomer and Fresh and Fit. Play it.
For weeks. Also, Steven Crowder was involved in a Dunkin' Donuts boycott, which also saw Dan Bongino, Chris Pavlovsky of Rumble, and Cat Turd take place. Now, Chris Pavlovsky, being over Rumble, has seen direct investment from people like Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, and Vivek Ramaswamy. And once you start to just sort of zoom out on everything, you can see how closely everyone is around President Donald Trump through this, and it's just kind of interesting. Now, this isn't a complete web by any means,
but it shows. And look, I know that many of you are bored because, you have the attention span of a squirrel, and you're probably a waste of human life and resources. But this goes to show you that there's a team around Trump, whether Trump knows it or not, whether he's a part of it or I don't know. They're using his power in order for them to assert their force against the institution that tried to send Trump a message with that Cybertruck situation in front of the Las Vegas Trump property. Now, the reason I brought this in, and by the way, can you kick people out of here? Kick people out of here. All right, get them out of here. And when I kick you out, don't ask me to fucking unban you. You're a piece of trash. Get them out of here. All right, get them out of here. Get these people the hell out of here. Anyway, as I was stating, all right, this is all around the Colson family. And the reason I brought this up is because the Colson family, once again, were the ones in charge of the firefighting of Los Angeles. Now, what I'm saying is that they didn't necessarily cause the fire, but if the fire is going, they have a vested interest to make sure that, we're being overwhelmed and we can barely make. They have a vested interest in making sure that it's made to look like they can't control or contain the fire. And because the conditions, as I was stating, were there, where there was no reservoir water in that Palisades area, where there was no kind of water in the goddamn fire hydrants. This was the perfect condition. The 90-mile-per-hour winds, perfect condition for this type of stuff. So in my opinion, whoever started the fire, it was the perfect opportunity to purposely be lackadaisical in trying to fight the fire itself. And that's why the fire has literally gone wild and has burnt most of Hollywood to the ground, Palisades to the ground. And look, who does this benefit? Who the hell does this benefit, for Christ's sake? It benefits not just Trump, because everybody that was against Trump came from the institution of Hollywood. All right? The influence of anti-Trump rhetoric. All right? The folks that raised all the money against Trump, they all came from this area. And they were the ones afflicted with the damage. These people, this was an attack. All right? It was an attack and a lackadaisical approach at trying to fight the fire itself. Okay, I'm not joking around. The conditions were there. That's why most of the folks that are MAGA are out here saying, look, it was incompetence by the government, and this throws another stain on the Democrats. So it kills like two birds with one stone, for heaven's sake. So that's why I'm telling each and every one of you guys that this attack, all right, was intentionally set, and because there was influence in the infrastructure of containing or supposedly extinguishing this fire, there was interest, in my opinion, for Coulson Aviation to make sure that they didn't do as good of a job so that the damn thing could spread, in my opinion. All right, how else do you explain this? How else do you explain this type of incompetence? All right, you can't. It was intentional. This wasn't incompetence. This was intentional. Who would have thought that all of fucking Hollywood and shit would be fucking burned out? They're fucking Malibu, all that shit. Who would have thought about that shit? Who would have thought about that? Nobody.
Here have put together this incredible.
Hold on just a second. Put the PC shot on. This is what's been burnt so far, and this was yesterday.
Incredible animation that shows the timeline of how this fire advanced through the communities of Pacific Palisades and Malibu. Here it is, January 7th at 6:17. It was at 2,900 acres. And then on January 8th, that explosion to 15,000 acres. And then the next day, 17,000 acres as it progressed into the mountains. And then on the 9th, 19,000 acres. And you can see how far it had gotten into Malibu. And then we come to yesterday at 20,000 acres.
And it's continuing on.
20 and then to 21,000 acres. But you see how far across it spread, and all the way up to the 11th, which is today at 22,660 acres. This is just information from 7:30 a.m. today. We in the newsroom here.
It has absolutely gotten worse, for Christ's sake. All right? And all the people that were afflicted, these were, people that were chumps here. I mean, people that were afflicted, these were big-time Hollywood elites. This was a message by the consortium that guy was describing around Trump. This was a message to them. I mean, take a look. Let's take a look at some of the fucking folks that lost their homes. Take a look at this. 12 million, 50 million, 200 million. Make me one and only. Hold on. Can we take the fucking, hold on just a second. Take the goddamn, I don't need to hear that goddamn stupid fucking song. All right, let's go ahead and play it. They're gonna force me to hear it. Here, take that shit down. Take that shit down. All right, look at all this shit. Look at all these goddamn people. This is Hollywood elite. Their houses are gone. Their houses are fucking gone. Look at this shit. Hollywood elites. Look at all this shit. Look at all this shit, man. 90 million, 8 million. All right, 70 million. John C. Reilly, or you get 70 million. Come on, man. So this is who lost their homes in the fire. Hardcore elites. All right, so, I mean, as I was stating, this benefits Trump and the consortium around him, and this was a message right back at them that, hey, you want to go bare knuckle? We're willing to do it. And who are the people that are doing this? Well, the people that were described in that one video I showed, and also the PayPal mafia, tech, all that shit. Now, tech right now is trying to destroy old institutions that once had a hold of the populace. Because big tech right now, all right, wants to take the whole fucking score. And here's a diagram from 7 Seas, by the way. Take a look at this. This is how it all comes down to artificial intelligence, quantum computers, and the global human computing grid. And you take a look at all the actors that are trying to monopolize this. That's why I said earlier in the broadcast, during the financial section, that Biden setting that AI chip restriction for NVIDIA helps Google and Microsoft monopolize AI. All right, so these are the people. You got Google Cloud, you got Azure, you got Amazon, you got Musk, you got Google. All right, I mean, these are the people that are trying to take control of the future, because that's what this is. It's a battle of the future. And right now you're seeing the future, which are these guys. By the way, they're going nuclear as well. Okay? So why do you think they're going nuclear? Obviously, they need the energy resources for AI, but if you're going to have nuclear plants, you're going to have nuclear material necessary to weaponize. So what I'm saying is, folks, is we're seeing a battle between the new tech oligarchs against the old establishment. And I'm talking the old establishment when it comes to the military-industrial complex, the old establishment when it comes to the banking system, that sort of thing.
I'd buy
All
that
right?
for $1.
That sort of thing. And hold on, let me get to some of these buy me a coffees. 15 and a half inches of pure imagination. The incompetence can be explained with California's woke DEI policy. No, that's the narrative that Trump wants everybody to fathom. He wants them to absorb that. Not to say that didn't contribute a minor degree. What really screwed everybody up is just the mere incompetence of not refilling a reservoir, making sure that the fire hydrants worked, making sure that there was some kind of forest program. There was a lot of things. It was incompetence. And it was the perfect storm to accomplish what is being accomplished right now. And as I stated, these are the Trump consortium, the big tech people. The guys that I'm showing you right here, these are them telling the old guard, oh yeah, you want to go to war? We're going to take you to war. We're going to take you to war. Anyway, let me read some more of 15 and a half inches here. He said, California has to hire anyone who will check all the right identity boxes, whether they're competent or not. Just look at the deputy fire chief and the stupid shit she did about DEI hires. I get it. I say it's a factor. I don't think it's the factor. But of course, I mean, the fact that it's incompetent, or at least looks optically incompetent at the state and municipal level, and the state and municipal level are all Democrats, it throws even more egg on the face of the Democrats, which, I mean, they're already getting started to make sure the Democrats don't do shit in 2027, midterms. And Haywood says, too bad it only consumed their homes and not... I'm not saying that, Haywood. You're a sick son of a bitch. I'm not saying that. But anyway, this is the battle. All right, and look, I mean, as you can see from the fires in Hollywood and in Los Angeles, we could be caught in the crossfire. You know what I mean? We could be caught in the crossfire, in my personal opinion. Now, how do I know that this is the new establishment against the old establishment? Well, this goes back to Obama, all right? And back to, once again, General T. Flynn. And I brought this up a few days ago, actually about a week or two ago, on January 1st, when the terrorist attack happened. And I tweeted the following. I said, well, you should know, because he tweeted, I'm talking General Flynn, he said, don't discount a scenario where this White House considers deploying U.S. military forces on the streets of America to provide security assistance to some of the upcoming large events. The left and those leading inside and outside will leverage or create any excuse. And then I responded that, well, you should know, weren't you a part of the 82nd Airborne Division? The same as the New Orleans attackers? Also, didn't you admit in this interview back in 2015 that you willingly or unwillingly aided arming ISIS? All right? This is an interview from 2015 when Michael T. Flynn was still, all right, a part of the Defense Department and the head of the DIA, which is the CIA equivalent of the Defense Department. This is a 2015 interview. Play it.
Many people would argue that the US actually saw the rise of ISIL coming and turned a blind eye, or even encouraged it as a counterpoint to Assad. And a secret analysis by the agency you ran, the Defense Intelligence Agency, in August 2012 said, and I quote, "There is the possibility of establishing a declared or undeclared Salafist," it's not secret anymore, it was released under FOI. The quote is, "There is the possibility of establishing a declared or undeclared Salafist principality in eastern Syria, and this is exactly what the supporting powers to the opposition want in order to isolate the Syrian regime." The US saw the ISIL caliphate coming and did nothing.
Yeah, I think that where we missed the point, I mean, where we totally blew it, I think, was in the very beginning. I mean, we're talking 4 years now into this effort in Syria. Most people won't even remember. It's only been a couple of years. The Free Syrian Army, that movement. I mean, where are they today? Al-Nusra, where are they today? And how much have they changed? When you don't get in and help somebody, they're going to find other means to achieve their goals. And I think right now what we have allowed is...
Hold on, you were helping them in 2012.
We've allowed this extremist... these extremist militants to come in.
But why did you allow them to do that, General? You were in post. You were the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Listen to what he says.
Those are
I took the liberty of printing out that document.
Policy issues. Now, because Michael T. Flynn doesn't know what to say. He was kind of blindsided by this Freedom of Information Act document he's being confronted with. And that's why the interviewer is saying, look, you knew that ISIS was coming, and then he's going to confront him and say, look, you armed him. Why did you do this? And he's going to say, it wasn't my job. Watch this. Play this.
Did you see this document in 2012? Was this come across your table?
Yeah. I paid very close attention to all this.
So when you saw this, did you not pick up a phone and saying, what on earth are we doing supporting these Syrian rebels?
That kind of information is presented, and
what did you do about it?
Those become, I argued about it.
Did you say we shouldn't be supporting these groups?
I did. I mean, we argued about the different groups that were there, and we said, who is it that is involved here? And I will tell you that I do believe that the intelligence was very clear. And now it's a matter of whether or not policy is going to be as clear and as defining and as precise as it needs to be, and I don't believe it was.
Just on what you're saying, just to clarify here, you're saying today my understanding is you're saying we should have backed the rebels. You're saying in government you agreed with this analyst.
We should have done more earlier on in this effort, than we did.
But in 2012,
listen to this.
But 3 years ago, let's just be clear, just for the sake of our viewers. In 2012, your agency was saying, quote, "The Salafists, the Muslim Brotherhood, and Al-Qaeda in Iraq are the major forces driving the insurgency in Syria." Mm-hmm. In 2012, the US was helping coordinate arms transfers to those same groups. Why did you not stop that if you're worried about the rise of quote-unquote Islamic extremism?
I mean, I hate to say it's not my job, but my job was to ensure that the accuracy of our
intelligence that
was being presented was as good as it could be. And I will tell you, it goes before 2012. I mean, when we were in Iraq, and we still had decisions to be made before there was a decision to pull out of Iraq in 2011. I mean, it was very clear what we were going to face.
All right.
I admire your frankness.
Hold on. Let's let it finish.
Let me just take one before we move on, just to clarify once more. You are basically saying that even in government at the time, you knew those groups were around. You saw this analysis, and you were arguing against it. But who wasn't listening?
I think the administration.
The administration turned a blind eye to your analysis.
I don't know if they turned a blind eye. I think it was a decision. I think it was a willful decision.
A willful decision to go support an insurgency that had Salafists, Al-Qaeda, and Muslim Brotherhood.
A willful decision to do what they're doing, which you'd have to really ask the president, what is it that he actually is doing with the policy that is in place, because it is very, very confusing. I'm sitting here today, Mehdi, and I can't tell you exactly what that is.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, all right? And I'm pretty sure he knows what it is now. It was the funding of what eventually would become ISIS, all right, and Al-Qaeda in Syria. That's what we were funding, okay? And that's why Michael T. Flynn and others that were against this policy are now utilizing Trump and are utilizing this network of different people in order to fight against what created what Michael T. Flynn just described in that interview. Okay? So that's why I'm telling everybody this is a battle between those folks that agreed with this policy, funding and training and arming what would be ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and also the Taliban. We just armed the Taliban, to those that I don't know what they want. I don't know what the Trump team wants. It's very, very confusing. It's very scary, all right, what the hell the probabilities are, in my personal opinion. Okay? But I find it ironic that even though Michael T. Flynn said that, and even though Barack Obama has been a sworn enemy of Donald Trump, I mean, supposedly all his people were going after Donald Trump and the legal system and, trying to impeach him and that sort of thing. And yet him and Donald Trump are chummy at the Jimmy Carter funeral. Now, what did I say this entire election cycle in 2024? I said what Trump was campaigning on, which was literally nothing. He promised nothing. He said nothing, even though you people that were MAGA people thought that he was going to deport all the brown people or he was going to make America white. I have no idea what you thought. But I told you that 2024 Trump is no different than 2008 Obama. And here he is, Obama and Trump getting chummy over here. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. I mean, look at this crap. I mean, let me tell you something right now, man. I would not even shake Obama's hand. All right, I know he was the president and all that crap. Barack Obama did more damage to this country than any president yet. Let's just put it that way. Any president yet. This son of a bitch is the reason why we have over 53% of the American population collecting a goddamn entitlement. He ruined this country. He ruined this country. And what, Donald Trump, supposedly this guy was a sworn enemy. He made fun of him at that fucking White House press dinner that supposedly inspired Trump to run in 2016. And all the people that were around Obama supposedly were going after him through the legal system and all this bullshit. And here he is sitting next to Obama getting all chummy and shit. Well, I told you so. All right, I told you so. I told you so. So I don't know what Trump is going to do, but obviously this attack on Hollywood was a wake-up call that, hey, we're not going to just sit around and allow you to pop shot us with ISIS terrorist attacks. We're going to go right at your base. All right, we're going right at Hollywood. Because believe it or not, people in this area, aside from Silicon Valley, aside from tech, this is the biggest fundraising group of people out here in American politics today. So the fact that Hollywood is finished, you have millionaires and their houses and mansions are burnt to the ground, the whole entire Hollywood Hills is scorched, it benefits Trump, it benefits MAGA on multiple different fronts. On the fact that, oh, look at those Democrats, they're incompetent, you should never vote for them again. And it's also a sign that you people that are in Hollywood should have never have crossed Trump, because look at you now. Look at you now. Now, the Democrats, let me tell you their response. They realize that, oh, shit. All right, they're hitting us up. All right, they're hitting us up, for Christ's sake. So Biden comes out. And he says something that I can't believe he said, but this is obviously intentional as a message to suggest that, hey, we knew you hit us up. All right? We know you hit us up. Put the PC shot on. Take a listen to this.
It looked to me as I traveled when I was out with you in California, what it reminded me of more of a war scene, where you had certain targets that were bombarded, where artillery was just blew them up. With no rhyme or reason. In other words, you'd have this fire going crazy and burning everything down and 3 houses being fine. Nothing's happening. Or neighborhoods that were still green. And next to a place that, for example, we're just looking at a Secret Service house that was out there. All the vehicles are melted. Yet the house next door still has green shrubbery on it. And, the house is fine. There's only, I think, 4 or 5 houses in that 200, it's in the Pasadena area. But my generic point is, it's almost like it's a battle scene.
But Mr.
A
President,
battle scene.
we saw that.
And here's Kamala
in
shutting him
South
up.
Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida with hurricanes.
Yeah.
This is also the nature of, to your point, this changing climate.
Climate change. All right, let's blame climate change. But look, the Democrats are on the offensive. That was not an accident that Joe Biden said that. All right, it was not an accident. He knows that, hey, this was an attack. And this was an attack on us, the Democrat Party, and our supporters and shit. I mean, every politician knows, at least a good politician knows, that what they say is intentional. And that right there was a message that, hey, we know what you did. It's a battle scene. It was an attack. All right, I mean, they put it out there. Now they have to do damage control. All right, they put it out that, yeah, we know you hit us. Now we're going to do damage control. So what kind of damage control are they going to do? Well, now you've got Gavin Newsom coming out here. Okay? Gavin Newsom's coming out here, and he says that he's ready to rebuild, and we're going to do it fast because they're going to be hosting a bunch of events and that sort of thing. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is the PR. This is the spin. This is what is going to make, or at least they're setting up, this attempt to make this attack and trying to make it something positive that the Democrats can gain some political capital on once the reconstruction is finished. Put the PC shot on. Take a look. Take a listen to this.
Over the course of the next several years, Los Angeles will be host to the World Cup and then the Super Bowl and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. President of the United States, Donald Trump, to his credit, was helpful in getting the Olympics to the United States of America, to get it down here in LA. We thank him for that. This is an opportunity for him to shine, for this country to shine, for California and this community to shine. The opportunity with all of that and all that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a
Marshall
team
Plan.
Reimagining LA 2.0.
LA 2.0.
Sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here.
LA 2.0.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan?
For
Tell
this
us about
region,
this Marshall
we're just
Plan.
starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders and nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly, but also federal assistance for the recovery efforts, and how we can galvanize the community with folks that love this community to really develop a mindset so that at scale we're dealing with the scope of this tragedy and responding to it at scale with efficiency like the executive order I talked about, time value of delivering projects, addressing building codes, addressing permitting issues, and moving forward to rebuilding and being more resilient.
All right, so you heard it there. Newsom isn't fucking around. He's like, hey, Marshall Plan. And look, you don't think that the folks that got their $1 million houses burnt down, you don't think that they're going to come out the pocket? You know, that's why he's talking about the philanthropic part, the state-funded part, all kinds of shit. Because why? Because this gives them an opportunity to be able to rebuild something. All right? Now, some of the folks that lost everything, they're going to have to, sell their property. And guess what? Newsom is already talking about that, baby. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. Play it.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks. We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh.
All right, he's already setting the plan in motion to rebuild. Now, how are they going to rebuild? I mean, certainly they don't have a plan already in place to be able to build everything before the Olympics in 2028 and shit. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Well, take a look at this. There is a plan. There was a plan, and it was announced 4 years ago. It was called Smart LA 2028. Put the PC shot on. Here it is. All right.
Hi, my name is Ted Ross, Chief Information Officer at the City of Los Angeles. As you know, we live in a world full of urban challenges. From traffic congestion that takes our time and pollutes our environment.
Here it is. Here's the
to
plan.
Natural disasters that threaten the safety of our communities.
Natural
To
disasters.
address these challenges, Los Angeles looks to smart city technology that can positively
Smart
transform
city
our
technology.
urban environment. While not a silver bullet, technology provides solutions that were previously unavailable to the generations who lived before us. It is technology that enables transparency in our policing and gives a powerful voice to our diverse communities.
They already had this
technology
plan.
that innovates alternative energy sources to reduce pollution and limit our carbon footprint. And it is technology that provides ultra-high-speed internet connectivity for LA residents and businesses to do amazing
Now, look.
things.
I'm not saying that they burnt this down to implement this. I'm saying that you've got the Democrats rolling with what the attack that happened on their people, on the Hollywood institution. They're rolling with that to roll in this already pre-planned. I mean, you understand, right? Because if they could rebuild this shit fast enough and make it look like some futuristic city, the Democrats would be looking like fucking heroes. Do you understand? You've got to think quick when it comes to politics, man.
Technology enables the city of LA to efficiently and ethically improve the quality of life for our residents, businesses, and visitors. In other words, when done right, technology makes us smarter. That's why the city of Los Angeles strives to be a smart city. And there's never been a more important time for Los Angeles to be smart than now, as we prepare to host the world in the 2028 Summer Olympics and Paralympics. Technology has transformed.
Anyway, it's there. It's from there's the channel, 87,000 views. It was up 4 years ago. The plan was in place. Now, I'm not saying that they burnt it down because of this plan. They had the plan already ready to go. The Democrats can't just sit there with their pricks in their hand. They've got to take I mean, this is politics. Do you understand? It's about the grand chessboard, and we're the pawns. And as long as we're mesmerized and believe whoever the hell we think is doing good for us, we're going to follow. This cycle, it was Trump. As I told you all, Trump didn't promise anybody anything, and the people that are actually going to benefit are nothing more than the goddamn PayPal mafia, like I said. All right? Now, many of you people are like, I don't know about that, Ghost. That's a stretch. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Anubis, I'll unban Baca after the show. And Duke Orville, is Newsom related to Pat Riley? Because of the hair, right? All right, look. Let's take another take, all right? Now, I don't believe this take, but I think somebody just donated. I think it was the base department talking about UFOs and orbs and shit that are over this fire. Now, this is another extreme take. I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm bringing it up because there was an actual Los Angeles Times article that was written on January 29th, 1934. And I'm not saying I believe it, but let's just read it here, all right? Lizards People's Catacomb City Hunted, okay? This was Los Angeles Times. It's a real fucking Los Angeles Times from the documents of Los Angeles Times. And here's the article in question, okay? Lizard People's Catacomb City Hunted, okay? No, belligerent Brian. Engineers sink shaft under Fort Moore Hill to find a maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants. Okay? Busy Los Angeles, although little realizing it in the hustle and bustle of the modern existence, stands above a lost city of catacombs filled with incalculable treasure and imperishable records of a race of humans further advanced intellectually and scientifically than even the highest type of present-day people. In the belief of G. Warren Schutzfeld, a geophysical mining engineer now engaged in an attempt to wrest from the lost city deep in the earth below Fort Moore Hill the secrets of the lizard people, of legendary fame in the medicine lodges of the American Indian. So firmly does Schutzfeld and the little staff of assistants believe that a maze of catacombs and priceless golden tablets are to be found beneath the downtown Los Angeles that the engineer and his aides have already driven a shaft 50 feet down into the ground to the mouth of the shaft, being on the oldest banning property of North Hill Street overlooking Sunset Boulevard, Spring Street, and North Broadway. And so convinced is the engineer of the infallibility of the radio X-ray perfected by him for detecting the presence of minerals in tunnels below the surface of the ground, an apparatus with which he says has traced a pattern of catacombs and vaults forming the lost city, that he plans to continue sending his shaft downward until he has reached the depth of 1,000 feet before discontinuing operations. Legend supplies clue, okay? Schutzfeld learned of the legend of the lizard people after his radio X-ray had led him, hither yon over an area extending from the public library on West 5th Street to the Southwest Museum on Museum Drive at the foot of Mount Washington. I knew I was over a pattern of tunnels, the engineer explained yesterday, and I had mapped it out, the course of the tunnels, the position of large rooms scattered along the tunnel route, as well as positions of deposits of gold. But I couldn't understand the meaning of it. The Schutzfeld then was taken to a little Chief Greenleaf of the Medicine Lodge of the Hopi Indians in Arizona, whose English name is L. Macklin. The Indian provided the engineer with a legend which, according to both men, details exactly what Schutzfeld says he has found. Okay? Fire destroys all. Okay? According to the legend, as imparted to Sheffield by Macklin, the radio X-ray has revealed the location of one of 3 lost cities on the Pacific coast. The local one have been dug by the, quote, lizard people after the, quote, great catastrophe, which occurred about 5,000 years ago. The legendary catastrophe was in the form of a huge tongue of fire, which came out of the southwest, destroying all life in its path. Now, here's the tunnel here, okay? Here's the tunnel in question that was traced by Schutzfeld. And he said, did strange people live under the site of Los Angeles 5,000 years ago? An amazing labyrinth of underground passages and caverns, hundreds of feet below the surface of Fort Moore Hill, is revealed in maps. All rights which have been reserved, prepared by G. Warren Schutzfeld, local mining engineer, who explains the topography endeavors as being based upon the results obtained by radio X-ray perfected by him. So here it is. This is, according to Schutzfeld, the mapped out area, the city that's underneath Los Angeles. Now, let us continue here, okay? On the path of being several hundred miles wide, and the underground was dug by means of escaping future fires. Did you hear that? The city underground was dug as a means of escaping fires in this area. The lost city, dug with powerful chemicals by the lizard people instead of by pick and shovel, was drained into the ocean where its tunnels began. According to the legend, the tide passing daily inland out of the lower tunnel portals and forcing air into the upper tunnels, providing ventilation and easement and sanitize the lower tunnels, the legend states. Large rooms in one of the domes of the hills above the city of the labyrinths housed 1,000 families in the manner of tall buildings and in perishable food supplies of herbs and viable goods or viable food supplies, and were stored in catacombs to provide sustenance for the lizard folk for the great lengths of time until the next fire on Earth. So anyway, you get it. If you don't like my take on, the internal struggle happening within the government of the United States, here's another take for you if you want to go that route, all right? The only reason I brought this up is because it was an actual LA Times article on January 29, 1934, all right? But I don't believe that, but it's interesting just to say the least, all right? All right, because look, I just thought I'd throw that in there. I had to tell you guys a bunch of gloom and doom stuff, all right? So look, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about Trump's ambitions, okay? Now, Trump's ambitions have been very, very interesting. He talks about how he wants Canada to be incorporated into the United States, all right, which is very interesting. Now, why would he want to do that? Well, folks, in my personal opinion, Trump is trying to create what many of us back in 08, 09 were trying to prevent Obama from doing, and that's creating what is called the North American Union. Okay? Does anybody remember the North American Union? That was seriously being, at least attempted, to be rolled into reality back during the Obama administration. The North American Union. And remember, they tried to create, or at least it was a prototype, the Amero. Remember that? The Amero, which was going to be the unified currency for the North American Union. And what is the map of the North American Union exactly? Put the PC shot on. That right there is the consolidation of all land in North America to be a union, just like the European Union. Just like the African Union, which just put itself together this past decade. You understand? This is a consolidation of countries. And this is globalism at its incremental phase. So all the folks that decided that they were going to vote for Trump thinking that he was an anti-globalist, you got another thing coming, boy. Anyway, Belligerent Brian, are you okay, Grandpa? Yeah, shut up. Trolling the interwebs, Hollywood celebrities equals gay gold hoarding lizards confirmed. And Kits does a flip. Can we finally talk about Greenland on the show? Well, let me talk about Canada first, okay? Now, Trump has been talking about how Canada should be another state within the United States. But something doesn't sit right with me. I mean, obviously, he's being pushed by these oligarchs who have bought and paid for him. I'm talking the PayPal Mafia, to push this globalism of the North American Union. And where did this North American Union concept come from? It came from the Council on Foreign Relations, which, of course, we just heard that Peter Thiel belongs to, as well as the Bilderberg Group, as well as the Klaus Schwab's organization, the World Economic Forum. Okay, so this is why you have Trump saying, hey, I want Canada, I want this, I want that. He's trying to create what the Council on Foreign Relations wrote in 2005, all right, the equivalent of the European Union, but in North America. Now, even though he has that motivation, he also has personal interest as well that I think people need to discuss, and whether or not this is ethical or not. But here's an article from 2017. Take a look at this. Trump's conflict of interest in Canada. A troubled Trump project in Toronto links to a large unexplained infusion of funds from Russia. which is suspected of espionage and efforts to interfere with U.S. presidential elections. Okay? So he has some problems, all right, from a project. This is a $500 million Canadian project in Toronto to develop something called Talent International Development, and he got the money from a Russian bank. Okay? So, I mean, if we were to take over the Canadian government, I'm sure this would never see the time of day. This conflict of interest that Trump has in a $500 million Toronto investment and its connections to a Russian bank who has been listed to be committed espionage, this will go away. You know, that's why he has taken a little bit of aim and being aggressive, in my opinion, towards Canada when it comes to taking it over and that kind of crap. So he has a conflict of interest there that, you know, hey, let's go ahead and take it over. We'll go ahead. It'll go away. Another one, okay, is Panama, all right? And he talked about taking Panama by force, all right, using potential military assets to go in and take the Panama Canal. Have y'all heard that? Well, why is he wanting the Panama Canal? You really think that he really wants the Panama Canal? You really think that he cares about the Panama Canal? Take a look at this. Trump organization accused of tax evasion in Panama. Oh. So no wonder. I mean, no wonder, you know, Trump has these motivations towards these particular areas of the world. Huh? He's got a problem with a Russian espionage-ridden bank in Toronto, Canada, and he's got tax evasion issues in Panama. Now, the fact that he's verbally said that he wants to potentially use military assets to take the Panama Canal, isn't this a little bit of a conflict of interest there? I mean, come on, Maine. Come on, Maine. Now, Greenland, all right, wants to take over Greenland, talking about, hey, I'll use some military force to take over Greenland. Well, obviously, he probably doesn't have any properties on Greenland or anything. But very interestingly enough, back in 2019, he tweeted a very interesting tweet. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Trump tweets promise to not build Trump properties on Greenland. And there's the tweet right there, 2019. Here, play this crap.
Well, the president, keeping rumors alive tonight, that the United States could buy Greenland. After the start of this show, just a moment ago, the president tweeted this image. It shows a new Trump Tower on the shores of Greenland. Along with that picture, the president tweeted this: I promise not to do this to Greenland. We'll continue to follow the Greenland drama.
So he has ambitions. He has ambitions to utilize his authority as president to take over Greenland so Donnie Jr. and Eric can go and build properties on the thing and get first dibs. All right? So, I mean, good God with this crap. I mean, are you serious? I mean, does anybody not research and be like, wait a minute, why are we going out? I mean, I thought that this idiot was bitching about us sending money to Ukraine, and now we want to fucking buy Mexico and Canada. We want to buy Greenland. I mean, give me a fucking break. Give me a goddamn break. And you didn't hear him say military force? Well, you didn't hear the last press conference, Nathan Long. And, you know, you're probably one of these idiots who puts about 3 or 4 fingers in your shit funnel, gyrated counterclockwise, playing video games your whole fucking life. So maybe you missed it, you stupid moron. And the Silverado dude said, Ghost just put fries in the bag. Yeah, real funny. All right, whatever. All right. Anyway, look, I've been on here for a couple of hours here. I really don't want to continue. I have a whole bunch of material that I still got to do. I mean, by the way, the nominations of Trump's cabinet picks and the deliberations of that kick off. And take a look at this. Senate braces for a train wreck as hearings kick off for Trump cabinet picks. So, not looking good. And I'm telling you, his cabinet picks are a kind of a joke. All right, I could palate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I think that he's, trying to be genuine in his approach to health. But Tulsi Gabbard has been completely in the pocket of Russia. She's been the most pro-Russia congresswoman when she was in Congress. She kissed the ass of Bashar al-Assad. So to trust her with anything in intelligence is ridiculous. This Hegseth, I mean, the shit that's coming out about Hegseth, it sounds like he'll divulge anything as long as it's, some bitch's ass is, exposed, with a high skirt and shit. All right? He's been divorced 3 times or 2 or 3 times, all of which because of infidelity. And dude, I don't know what about Patel. I don't know about Patel, dude. I don't know about Patel. I mean, I would possibly warm up to this guy, but this guy's too QAnon. Have you seen him on interviews? I mean, this guy is going to lead the FBI, for Christ's sake? And trolling the interims with a rumble rant saying, keep going. Hey, thank you, man. And Pookie from 713, what's up with Zuckerberg pulling a 180? I'm going to talk about that as well. He wants to be a part of that PayPal mafia there, Pookie. I know. You have Zuckerberg pulling a 180 because he doesn't want to be left out of this group that I just mentioned earlier that is truly in control of Trump. And I'll read that later there, Kits Does a Flip. Thank you very much. Please stop disrupting me on my fucking presentation, for heaven's sake, all right? Anyway, let's see if Trump really has the clout that he claims he has within the infrastructure of government to get these weirdo picks, any of them, through. Let's see if he has the clout here. And by the way, Duke Orville is absolutely correct with a rumble rant. Peter Thiel built Zuckerberg because Peter Thiel was the guy who invested in Facebook. So, yeah, that's probably why he's doing a 180. And cheers to Duke Orville for that one, man. All right, cheers to you. All right, let me continue, folks, all right? Now, there's a lot of things going on with MAGA here. I don't know if y'all saw this. J.D. Vance is actually breaking away from Trump when it comes to the day one promise. When it comes to the day one promise of giving a pardon to all the January 6 folks. All right? They're not, now all of a sudden, Trump is utilizing this goof, this eyeliner wearing goof, to go back on his promise on releasing the January 6 folks. All right? So once again, you guys have been hoodwinked. I don't know how much you have to be hoodwinked before you realize that I done goofed. I should have listened to Ghost. I don't know what. I thought that this was going to be a lot different. Well, it isn't. Anyway, Joe hooked it up with a buy me a coffee and said, police superstate NAU coming with AI to monitor us, just as real uses for Palestine targeting. Papal empire expanding. Research the Catholic Inquisition. Believe me, I'm very aware that the Catholics are at the bottom of all the evil shit that's going on. I'm not naive to that, but thank you, Joe. Cheers to you, man. And the base department, Ghost, you have gone full conspiracy tard talking about old shit from decades ago, like lizard people and Illuminati. Well, base department, unfortunately, I can tell how you gargle that together. You're like most of these attention deficit disorder losers that only are able to pick up key words and are not listening to what the fuck I'm saying. You see, you're what's wrong with the fuck America right now there, base department, all right? Yeah, I mean, there's dopes like you that will be, I mean, a teacher will physically show you something, and instead of actually focusing and absorbing the material, you just take sentence fragments and words and bumble it into your fucking autistic, dumb, imbecilic, lazy head and think that you can surmise some kind of a take out of that. You're an idiot. Don't donate to me anymore, base department. You're a fucking loser. Jesus Christ. And look, all of you people are just upset that I told you so. I told you that Trump wasn't going to do a goddamn thing for you people, and now y'all are upset. Well, you're going to have to eat it. All the bad shit that's going to happen to our country, it's your fucking fault, all right? Remember that. It's your fucking fault.
I'd buy that for a
fucking
dollar.
Piece of shit. And what is this, Geno X 1987? Did you know about Kevin O'Leary going to Mar-a-Lago to suck up to Trump? The guy people refer to as the Canadian Trump. Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody who is anybody is trying to butter up to Trump because he knows, and people know, all you have to do is kiss this guy's ass and he'll let you do whatever you want. And if you've got a motivation or if you've got an agenda, I mean, it's easy to go into this idiot's good graces. All right? So that's why everybody's, kind of buddying up to Trump, because all you have to do is give him flattery and he'll let you do whatever that's how he is. That's why his administration, even going back to 2016, was always fucked up. Anyway, Vance is breaking with Trump day one promise, January 6th. So yet another L for you magatards who thought that, Trump was going to come in, he was going to save America, that like he cared about any you peon people, all right? Like he truly identifies with you morons out there. You all got had. And look, Steve Bannon, who was one of the advisors, political consultants to Trump back in 2016, he's absolutely livid because he just got out of prison for standing up for Trump. And now he realizes, I'm talking Steve Bannon, realizes that Trump sold out. Trump sold him out. He sold all of you little idiots out. That's why Steve Bannon condemns Elon Musk as a racist and truly evil. And guess what? He promises to try to take him down, quote unquote. How the fuck are you going to do that there, Steve Bannon? All right? You couldn't even keep yourself out of jail, and you had a buddy of yours that was the president. How the fuck are you going to go and take down Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, with all these connections to big tech, Peter Thiel, the World Economic Forum, the fucking Council on Foreign Relations? How the fuck are you going to do that, Bannon? All right? You're just pissed that you've been had just like all the other MAGA people have been had. Why don't you ask Rudolph Giuliani, who's losing everything? All right, he doesn't even have a goddamn pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of because he defended Trump. Why don't you talk about the MyPillow guy, which is going down in a fucking blaze of glory, I hate to say. Probably going to see him on a goddamn street corner selling his ass for crack because he even gave his money, he gave his wealth to try to defend Trump. Are you kidding me? So give me a break. So, yeah, people are starting to recognize that they've been hoodwinked, they've been had, and I tried to tell you idiots that throughout the whole 2024 election cycle, go back in the goddamn archive if you don't believe me. I told you all that Trump wasn't going to do a goddamn thing for any of you people. Wasn't going to do a goddamn thing for any of you people, and yet you idiots, like the blind, simplistic sheep that you are, that you think you know everything when you don't know shit, all right? That's the lack of humility that has a lack of prevalence in today's country. There is no humility. Every one of you dumbasses think you know everything when you don't know shit. And it's documented. All you people that were pro-MAGA, all you fucking idiots that are like, yeah, we're going to make America great again. You all are documented on the internet, on your Facebook post, on your social media, being a bunch of idiots. And I'm glad. I am glad that it's there for posterity so that when this country goes into whatever we're going into, some internal struggle that's going to put all of us at risk, that's going to put all of us in jeopardy in many different facets, I want you all to know that you people made all this happen. All right? You and your idiocy, you and you think you know it all, you and you think that you're political, it's you idiots that created all this havoc, all these terrorist acts, all this shit. It's your fucking fault. And if you don't want to take responsibility for it, well, hey, it's out there in posterity. All right? It's out there in posterity. You people fucking brought this on us, so fucking eat it, you stupid losers. And look, there's going to be financial recession, if not depression. All right? There's going to be a bunch of shit that you people are going to have to take and eat. And I hope that all you idiots that were out there, yeah, MAGA, yeah, I hope that you're just as vocal when this fucking country gets flushed down the fucking toilet because of you fucking morons. All right? Stupid fucking thank you, come again. There's Patel there. Patel, tell him, Patel. Yet I want to tell all your MAGA people, you're fucking idiots, and I thank all of you for being stupid, a redneck hillbilly. I thank you all for voting in Trump because we're going to bring in a lot of our people. We're going to bring in a lot of our people, okay? So thank you, come again. Okay, thank you, come again. Fucking assholes. You made that happen. All right? If you're pissed off about thank you, come again, you made it happen. So eat it. All right, you magatards, eat it. And admit to yourself you don't know shit. All right? Admit it. You don't know shit. All right, folks. Anyway, look, I don't know. I think I'm fucking done, dude. I'm fucking done.
I'd buy that.
And what is it? What the fuck are you talking about? What is this? Hold on. The base department. Fight me, bitch. I'm waiting at Twin Peaks at 702 Northwest Loop 410 San Antonio. I'm not going over there to go fuck. I'll send one of my blacks over there. All right? I'll send one of my blacks over there, you fucking moron. I'll send one of my goons. Anyway, let me...
I'd buy that.
Oh, great. Here's fucking Haywood over here. The reason why weapons exist, it's because men like you and I exist, men who break track heel pathways with their bare hands. Thank you, Haywood, with that enlightening contribution to human enlightenment. Excuse me. And hold on just a second. We got Cornbread Man was about to say my pillow guy. Yeah, no shit, man. And Five Finger Prostate Punch, nobody correct Ghost or he will kick or ban you. What are we talking about correct? All you do is talk crap. And Cornbread Man, I'm really hoping for a depression. It might be the only way people will learn. No, they're not going to learn. They're not going to learn. All right? It's going to create more leftists. That's what's going to happen. And feminist socialists, if we go into a recession, it won't be Trump's fault. You can blame Biden and Powell for that. No, what are you talking about? Feminist socialists, right now, 2024 is the peak of earnings. I mean, we've had, across the board, amongst most profitable companies, double-digit profits. All right, you don't have that all the time. I just mentioned it earlier. Of course, you don't fucking listen. You're some fucking idiot who's probably putting a condom on a G.I. Joe and sitting on it while watching Saturday morning cartoons and shit. All right? But I said that, you know what, it doesn't matter what I say. You people don't care. Anyway, trolling the interwebs. Okay, but if we voted for Kamala, we would have had to have Indians flown in directly from Mumbai with our tax dollars. I don't think so, dude. I think the status quo would have continued, which, believe it or not, I mean, this past 4 years was the epitome of gluttony. I mean, it's so bad in this country that people have lost respect for money. They've lost respect for investment. That's why we have meme coins and meme stocks. Idiots putting their money in absolutely meaningless, useless shit. They've changed the direction of the means of production. That's why there's more shit that's tchotchke-based garbage than anything that actually solves a problem. I'm not joking around. I have seen more tchotchke, useless, don't need bullshit that has made millions of dollars because people are gluttonous consumer imbeciles that have no idea why they're buying shit because there's so much money going around that it's changed the whole means of production. In my opinion, I think a lot of the inflation that's happening in the food sector is because we're all a bunch of fat asses and we're gluttonous. I mean, look at all the mukbangs and shit on YouTube and on TikTok. Look at all the fat asses that are walking around this fucking country. All right? We're gluttons. All right? And it's not even like a little, like a little girth. Like a little bit of a belly, show of a good life. These are fat, disgusting 350, 400-pound Snorlaxes that are waddling around all over America. And you're going to tell me that, Biden's administration was so bad. Go fuck off, all right? You ain't seen nothing yet. And I told you all this at the beginning of the year. You all ain't seen nothing yet. All right? We've already had 2 terrorist attacks and a goddamn fire that's burned down a city. You ain't seen shit yet. And believe me, what's going to happen is some massive 9/11 type ISIS attack or Al-Qaeda attack.
I'd buy
and
that
then
for
what?
$1.
And what is this? Haywood, don't go to sleep, FAG. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean, Haywood? You just sit there and shut your mouth before I play the song that I wrote about you on here, all right? Haywood, You want me to play the song that I wrote for you on here? Keep that shit up! Anyway, five-finger prostate punch. I think you need to read a book, Ghost. Yeah, go fuck off, all right? And Belligerent Brian, dude, you waste money on booze and wings, and you're going to tell us that we're wasting our money? What are you talking about, man? That's replenishment. That's man fuel, all right? That's what keeps me fucking going, all right? You, Belligerent Brian, are some fucking imbecile who puts about 2 or 3 fists in your ass and gyrating it clockwise while looking at male feet pics, because that's all you post on every Twitter post that I post. You're a foot fetish freak, and I hope that you get fucking athletics foot of your schlong. Son of a bitch. And Tesla Cyberheart, why does a bar have only 3 seats? Doesn't seem very efficient. I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know. By the way, I owe you one there. I have to go to Tesla Cyberheart. He wanted me to look at a fucking video that apparently has something to do with the things that we're discussing here tonight. So let me see what Tesla Cyberheart does. This better be pertaining on some of the subjects we were discussing here, dude.
It's not.
Oh, dude, fuck off, all right? Dude, fuck off this fucking UT game, dude.
Die, but it's close.
This fucking UT game. The Sarkassian, it's your fucking fault that we lost. Why the fuck are you fucking throwing? What the fuck are you doing?
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, God. Play what? Play what? I'm playing it now, Silverado dude, you fucking jerk. I blame Sarkassian for keeping this idiot Ewers into the game. He should have put in Manning, and the fucking play calling by this jerk Sarkassian. I'm talking about the coach of UT. I saw it in the Arizona game. All right? We were up by 7 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This fucking idiot, Sarkassian, on 1st and 10, decides to fucking let Ewers air it out, and he gets intercepted in that Arizona game, pick 6, and we're tied up with less than fucking 4 minutes left in the game. I mean, it's Sarkassian's fucking play calling, you fucking tard! All right, take this shit off. All right, I'm done now. I think I'm done. All right? Y'all gonna bring up some shit that's gonna piss me the fuck off. I'm fucking getting out of here. All right? Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, look, I don't know when I'm going to have another Ghost show. I know that's the show I have to have next. I don't know if it's either going to be tomorrow or Wednesday. You know, let me know what you all want, because it's up to you people. You this is too much. I don't like it. Well, let me know, all right? Let me fucking know. Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, before I go, I do want to say, become a member of the True Capitalist Radio chat room here. A lot of the information that I came up with and that I presented, we went through it in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and it's a great place to discuss serious issues. If you're a troll bastard, get the hell out. Don't even bother. But all you have to do is go to buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics and go to the Become a Member area and become a member. And by the way, our 3rd trading card has been distributed, and every member is loving the cards. Every member gets a card a month from yours truly, exclusive trading cards just for being a part of the chat room. And plus, we watch games, we watch football games, it's fun shit. Everybody in there rocks, all right? Everybody in there rocks. So consider becoming a True Capitalist Radio member and chat with us. I'm actually going to be in that chat room right after this broadcast. I'm probably going to, take a smoke break for about, maybe about 20 or 30 minutes, and I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Now, I guess let's get to the totally useless news segment, since I want to get the hell out of here, with all due respect. I didn't expect to be on a little past 2 hours or whatever the hell it was. All right, look. I got a totally useless news that was Haywood that wanted me to take a look at this, all right? And anyone restreaming Monday Night Football, we'll probably do it, Duke Orville, in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I'll see you guys in there here in about 20 minutes. I know the game has started. I need to take a smoke or something. But cheers to Duke Orville. We'll definitely be in the True Capitalist Radio member chat room checking out the game. And hold on, this is a totally useless news by Haywood. It said, gay couple who showed off a picture, perfect family, gets 100 years in prison for horrific rapes of adopted sons. Oh, dude. Well, thank God they got 100 years. I think they should have got the death penalty. This was this gay couple that the media like to highlight as being this perfect gay couple that had adopted these kids, and there they are right there. And they took to social media, and of course, all the LGBTQ tried to use these men as a poster child in order for them to validate why gays should adopt. All right? Now, it came to light that these fucking disgusting, despicable, pedophile pieces of shit were actually molesting these poor children that they adopted from the state. And by the way, don't shoot the messenger. But anyway, once again, gay couple who showed off picture-perfect family gets 100 years in prison. If you want my opinion, they should have gotten the death penalty. Fucking sick sons of bitches. What a fucking bunch of... Oh, God. Anyway, let me get to another totally useless news segment, which I think is very interesting. All right? Now, we were talking a little bit about that 1934 article at the LA Times about underground labyrinth under LA, and it was some lizard people or some shit. Take a look at this. Scientists are mystified by massive structures found deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. All right? Miles beneath the Pacific Ocean in a region of the Earth's mantle where conventional wisdom says nothing unusual should exist, scientists have discovered something extraordinary. Utilizing innovative technology, analyzing seismic waves, researchers have identified massive structures that challenge fundamental theories about how our planet formed and evolved. As if we discovered a new geological continent. Not on the Earth's surface, but deep within. Now, since we delved into some of this mythological, reptilian, that kind of stuff, let's go ahead and delve into this, all right? And hold on, kids, I'll get to you in just a second. Now, this validates what many people who oblige the theory of the hollow earth theory. Now, I'm not saying this is actual. This is all theoretical. This has all been, handed down stories type of thing. But Robert Byrd, who made 2 expeditions to Antarctica, also made a plane ride into the North Pole. Now, this is where we get the hollow earth theory, that in the earth, there's a whole other world inside the earth that has animals and shit that used to walk the earth that are in there. It has its own sun, that sort of thing. How we get this theory is Robert Byrd's wife. When Robert Byrd, which if you look him up, he did 2 expeditions to Antarctica at the turn of the 20th century. He was the unequivocal adventurer and was not afraid to go anywhere and explore anywhere and that sort of thing. And the story goes is that Byrd told his wife, all right, when he was telling her these stories that he embarked on, and he talked about a story where he was observing the North Pole in an airplane, and that his airplane stopped working, and it started taking him into a path where it was
I'd buy that for
it was a hole inside the North Pole. And he went inside that hole in the North Pole, and as a result, he was taken into a new world. And his wife describes the exact movie kind of context. Had its own sun, there was mammoths, there was saber tigers, there was all these different extinct animals that were there. And he said that he talked to giants. All right. They pulled in his airplane and landed it for him, and he started talking to giants that were residing in the hollow earth, and they were concerned about the nuclear weapons being deployed on the Earth's surface, and warned Byrd that if they continued this nuclear warfare, that they would come out and have to do something about it. Okay? So anyway, that's where the whole hollow earth theory comes from. It's from the secondhand account from Byrd's widow. Now that you have structures and what looks like monoliths and a whole new continent inside the earth, this kind of, gives a little bit of credence to that. I'm not saying it validates it. This is totally useless news here. So, you people like fucking Bigfoot, even though it's a fucking bunch of dumb nerds in ghillie suits trying to keep the fucking dumb, stupid myth alive. But hey, that's totally useless news for you, all right? Hold on, we got a couple of people here. We got Kits Does a Flip. Oh, yeah, on the topic of degeneracy, did you hear what happened to Neil Gaiman? What the fuck is Neil Gaiman? Who the fuck is that? Don't shoot the messenger, but Jewish male feminist, by the way. I've never even heard of that dude. Or it or they. I've never even heard of that. Put the PC shot on. What is this? This is courtesy of Kits Does a Flip. More women have come forward with sexual assault and abuse allegations of Neil Gaiman. Really? One woman who was his babysitter for Gaiman's son was allegedly raped multiple times by him. Gaiman would address her as a slave and himself as master, so that Gaiman's son even began to address her as slave. Oh my God! Gaiman also allegedly had sex with her while speaking to his son at the same time while he played with his iPad. Oh my God. Another woman who was living with her 3 daughters in the house owned by Gaiman was allegedly worried that he'd kick her out if she didn't continue to have sex with him. Well, there you go. That's Kits Does a Flip. More totally useless news, and we certainly didn't need to hear that one, dude, all right? And hold on, Happening Incel? Happening Cell? What the fuck's your name? Ohio owns Texas. Ohio is the best state of the union. The best new Intel plant we're getting is going to be more important than D.C. Oh, yeah, Happy Cell or Happening Cell? What are you talking about? All right, put the PC shot on. What the hell are you talking about? What is this? Massive cold boxes. Neil Gaiman was actually a famous author. Hold on. Neil Gaiman was actually a famous author who wrote Caroline, amongst other books. Well, thank you, Kits Does a Flip, for the 411.
It's called a superload. It's the size of a football field and weighs nearly 1 million pounds.
What is this crap?
Superload, one of 4, was
Superload?
headed to Intel's new Ohio 1 campus under construction in New Albany. Too big for the highways, they were recently barged up the Ohio River before crews offloaded them onto Jack McCoy's
Duke
property,
Orville has got a position in
power
Intel.
plant turned port in Manchester, Ohio.
And
he
so
told us in the
we
TCR chat.
We got a call from Edwards Moving in Rigi. Want to know if we were interested in bringing in some material, bringing in some units, bringing in some equipment, big stuff. And so the negotiations started from that, and so we could see the opportunity there, not knowing.
So this is going to be the Intel fab site over there in Ohio. Believe it or not, chips are the future, the manufacturing of them are the future, and the powering of the AI is the future. That's why I showed you earlier that big tech is going nuclear, because nuclear energy capabilities is the only way we're going to be able to suffice not only the AI power usage, but the Internet of Things, all these electric vehicles, and all that shit.
That it would culminate in where it is, now.
The McCoys bought this land
and Duke Orville just dropped Rumble Rant and said Intel got $10 billion for this from the CHIPS Act that was bipartisan and was signed in by Biden.
Couple of years ago, hoping to bring this type of river business to Manchester, whose local economy has lagged behind other parts of Ohio. So the McCoys were excited when they learned about Intel's superloads, 4 massive cold boxes, which separate gases in the air as part of Intel's advanced chip manufacturing process.
Jeez.
The logistics were complex, moving colossal pieces of equipment upriver to Adams County, then some 150 miles overland to Intel's Ohio 1 construction site had never been done before.
I've been looking at this job for over a year now, as far as planning out the route.
Yeah, everybody's getting employed right there. Look, that's some American employment there.
Along the way that we may have to mitigate.
What? 5-finger prostate punch? Women don't lie. I get it. That's why he's got to defend himself.
To plan a route transporting 1 cold box at a time. For each cold box, the job would
and
take
Animus,
roughly
those
a
two
week.
dudes look like
Given
your
the
TCR
massive
list.
size of the
Fuck
equipment,
you,
the
asshole.
hauler at times moved at the speed of a slow walk. Crews carefully navigated through each town and city,
Man, look at
stopping
this.
traffic, removing stoplights, even lifting power lines so the
I mean,
superload
that's how
could squeeze
important
under
this
them.
shit is,
And
man.
this is something that you don't see every day, but I think this is certainly
in
an
Ohio.
example of how Ohio
Why,
is a state that
Ohio,
makes
did I
these
leave
things.
Ohio?
Along its 150-mile route through Ohio, the superloads drew hundreds who stopped to watch the superload maneuver through their towns.
Superload.
My dad works with ODOT and told us what would be coming through, and we said, all right, that sounds really cool, nearly 1 million pounds moving down the road, so figured we'd come see it.
With this superload, Intel's influence has extended beyond the immediate construction site and is reaching communities across the state of Ohio. One example of this economic ripple effect: since Intel's superloads began coming ashore at the McCoy's riverfront property, other companies have reached out,
of course,
asking if they too can take advantage of what's now called the Adams Ohio River Transit Access,
there it is.
or AORTA.
AORTA.
It's a fitting name in a state whose tagline is the heart of it all.
Well, there you go. All right, that was courtesy of Happening Cell, who hooked that one up, and cheers to Happening Cell, who dropped $25 to enlighten us that we've got Intel moving into why did I ever leave Ohio with superloads. So it is what it is. Hold on. Cornbread Man hooked it up and said, since we're talking about chips, here's some AIB GPUs that NVIDIA and AMD are putting out. All right, let's take a look at it. What is this? What is this crap? Oh, are you fucking kidding me? All right, that's my cue to get the fuck out of here. All right? Seeing this bullshit. All right? All right, that's about it. Oh, God, take this shit off of here. And Duke Orville, sounds like Ohio is about to get a huge influx of Indians. And you didn't say the word Indians there, Duke Orville, all right? All right, folks, look, this was a very intense, a very extensive, a lot of information in this show. And I just want to say thank you all who had the patience to sit and listen to all this, whether live or in the archive. I don't know when I'm going to do a ghost show.
Buy that for $1.
Hold on just a second. We got El Foxo here. So you finally changed your mind on nuclear energy? Thank God. I was worried that my technical qualification in reactor operations wasn't going to come in handy. Well, it's supply and demand, El Foxo. I mean, we got to suffice all the energy needs that we can barely do now. So the only way that we can construct a power source necessary and have the ability to serve our energy needs is nuclear. I hate to say that. So if you want to invest in anything in the long term, in my opinion, nuclear energy seems like your bet, in my opinion. All right, I don't know when I'm going to do another ghost show. Like I said, it's either going to be tomorrow or Wednesday. Let me know on X or Twitter what would be the best day for the most of you guys out here. And by the way, if you haven't done so, add to your bookmarks and add to your favorites, or I should say follow me. I should say just follow me on X or Twitter, all right? There it is. There's the name right here. The Ghost Report. All one word, no underscores. The Ghost Report. This is my social media of choice. I know that Alon has like kind of demonetized some people and maybe banned some people. He has not banned me yet. I like the product of X. I like the Twitter Spaces. I like this stuff. So it's my social media of choice. So if you want to follow me, if you want to keep up to what I'm doing, hook it up with The Ghost Report on X or Twitter. All right. So with that being said, the next ghost show, or excuse me, the next True Capitalist Radio will probably be tentatively on Friday because I anticipate other events happening in order for me to kind of get into those and explain those and that sort of thing. But so anyway, follow me on X or Twitter. It's the best way to find out when I'm going to do a show. And thanks to everybody out there who is listening. I appreciate it. I know it was a very extensive show, lots of information, but I'm glad you stuck with me. And cheers to all the folks that were out there that listened to the broadcast. And once again, I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. So if you want to become a member, all you have to do, buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics. All right, I'm going to be watching the game with the fellas in there. Become a member. Serious convos, serious conversation only. Everybody who goes in there is gaining knowledge. They're gaining something. Everybody in there is profiting off of the XRP and the ADA or Cardano pump. lots of great information in there, dude. Anyway, I'm going to be chilling in there. Cheers to everybody out there who has listened to this broadcast. All right. And once again, my official website, ghost.report. Type that in your browser. We're going to be doing some things over there at some point. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to me. Until next time, I'm out of here.